Welcome to Anonymous Bites Back, episode 83. We are back talking more about the Las Vegas shootings and some other stuff on uh, the back channels. um, so in the last few days, more stuff has popped up. The leaked photos of the murder, or not the murder, sorry, the shooter have popped up. Also, along with him, and what seems to be on the table, um, some sort of note that was written. We don't know exactly what was on there. From the Las Vegas shootings. What I am also seeing on, throughout a lot of the conspiracy pages that are showing up in my feeds. One in particular that was linked to Live Leak was saying that the whole event with people getting shot and all that were all fake and they were actors. I can tell you one thing. I mean, I can't verify that there were any actors, but I can verify without a doubt, with proof, that people were actually shot at the event. I know one of them. um, I believe this video's been going around, and it's not as popular as some of the other ones, but they were also claiming that the video was fake and they were using the wrong footage from something else. It was an operation that was going on in Manchester, and they are not in the U.S. That footage came from the United Kingdom. So just debunked that one. Oh yeah, I got a little bit of echo going on. I was right. I guess I was right on the money about when I was remember Preston when I was talking about that it was you might have been using that bump assist shit or that bump
It might have
stock.
been
Yeah,
the bump stock.
yeah.
Yeah, that's possible, but it still doesn't sound right because
Uh,
you have to.
it,
It's hard to hold your aim with those things.
yeah, you got you
You're
got to.
busy rocking it and everything, and trying to keep it straight.
Thing is, did he really need to have aim? I mean, you're shooting
No.
into a crowd of people. I mean, you really don't got you. You can be blind and still hit some.
Yeah, I guess with if you're shooting at 20,000 like that, it does make it a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
Well,
elevated position at that.
I mean, with the I did hear like from the initial shootings, what did sound like a caliber that would be similar to an AR would shoot. But I'm still not seeing any evidence of what I also heard, which was like a 7.62 or some higher caliber. Definitely hearing two guns. People were reporting that they heard two guns. You know, there's been a lot more questions than there have been answers in the last few days. um, I'm also.
Yeah, and there's an effort to really push this narrative, this lone shooter narrative. They get all but pissed off when you try to call them on that.
Well, and there's also two batched out windows on the 32nd floor. Um, and I was even listening to LVPD was saying, that they're still not pushing. They're not. I don't know if they're still pushing on the lone shooter at this point, but they were saying that he probably had help. But I definitely would say that he probably had help doing this. I mean, over
Did
the
you
course,
hear about the video about the neighbor, the one
the,
supposedly the Australian guy? He
yeah,
said
yeah.
that
Preston was talking about that. Yeah, if you want to bring it up again, you can.
supposedly he in the hotel right next to him, and I think he said something about there was people dressed in black, whatever, and they shot a security guard or something. I don't remember
Well,
exactly what.
yeah, well, plus multiple people. That was the main thing.
Yeah,
There was more than one guy in there.
And what also is, if he's holding two bump assists in his, he has to be holding the bump assist close to his shoulder. So just from shooting automatic guns in my life, with 2 bump assists, you'd just be kind of all over the place. You couldn't, you know what I mean?
It's not easy.
It's not easy. No, no, it wouldn't. You're not very accurate with the bump assist at all because it's also pushing back on the stock, which is moving the gun all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
Has anybody looked at the pictures to see if he has them on the guns he's got on the images?
Was that image that you sent? Was that actually his guns? From one from 532? Or no, that's not in perspective. I'm looking at the other
Well,
ones.
I'm hearing different numbers. I mean, first it was like in the 20s, and
Yeah.
then 29. 33 is coming up now. As far as like the total number, but like how many he had in the room, I'm not sure on that.
Well, did you also hear that he had ammonium nitrate in the car? When they say ammonium nitrate,
Yeah.
I heard that kind of disappear. But when you hear ammonium nitrate, in a car, that can mean a lot of products. Well, not a lot, but a few products that I can think of. but still, all you need is a little bit of diesel and ammonium nitrate. There you go, Oklahoma City, which was also faked. Did you hear that he was? Did you hear some? Did you hear also that he was scoping out other places?
Yeah. That did come up. I've heard that from one feed. Well, yeah, if you could get away with this one, then you and your gun running buddy would go down to the next operation, right? I mean, mission accomplished.
There's so many more questions than answers with this shit.
I mean, if he had he had supposedly had a video camera that
it was
was able
facing
to
out.
see
Yeah.
outside the room. So I mean, those should be released, or
Did you
they're going to end up like.
did you hear about the bellhop guy or whatever, the food guy that brings up delivered to the food? He was writing. He wrote on his he wrote on the on his receipt that there was he was delivering dinner for 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's from yeah. Man, yeah. Let me go look at that. I had that YouTube video is from ET. Hang on, let me go get that. I'll kick it out. Oh yeah, they've got the receipt.
And they're also saying that he was probably with detectives were saying that he was probably with a woman. I don't know how much that's going to turn out to be fucking legit, but
You heard the witnesses at the concert. They had a woman that came down to like around the first row of the concert, and supposedly she was arguing with some other woman or something, and she basically told them, "You're all going to die tonight."
yeah, and that was kind of crazy. Did that happen like 45 minutes before the actual event
Right.
happened? And I was leading to an ex-FBI investigator, which is kind of funny that he kind of shrugged it off, like saying it was just a crazy person in the show. But I'm like, well, I've been to a ton of concerts where like there's a bunch of people doing like drugs, and I've never heard anybody say any shit like that. I mean, I've heard "I'm gonna kill you," you motherfucker, but I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of weird shit that's happening with this whole thing.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
Skip.
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 What? I don't know what was happening. I thought we just lost somebody. But yeah, I mean, the crisis actors. That was up in that they were saying that was up in the Craigslist. I haven't verified it. I mean, it does look legit. But
That was from the video I put out because I did that at the spur of the moment because it just happened, and I just happened to find that about the Mayweather fight, about how they were hiring, crisis actors for the fight. There was supposed to be something that was going to happen that night, and that was like 2 months ago or something. So I was like, well, maybe they got spooked and moved it to another time, you know. So I just threw that video out there and possible false flag, and then I got hammered by comments of people saying, "Oh, people died." I'm like, well, I didn't say people didn't die. I just, said it was
Well,
a
I was,
possible false flag
what I'm still
because I
hearing
think that.
some of the videos is that they're saying that some people are saying that nobody got hurt, and I was like, what? Are you guys like?
Now, see, that's.
You can't be
I,
that blind. I mean,
Yeah.
well, I mean, some people say, "Oh, I
yeah,
didn't see no blood. I didn't see no people get." There's people falling everywhere. I mean, it's you know,
Well, it's not like
and,
it's
and
when
an
people get
event.
shot. It's not like always in the movies where there's just blood splatters
No, it's
everywhere. No,
nothing like the movies.
yeah.
I got that video in the chat, Tyler. The Mandalay
Oh,
receipt.
the Mandalay receipt. Yeah, dinner for two. Shit.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hey, where's that? I was wondering where that receipt was. Is that on the table in the hotel room or something?
Yeah.
Would that be the piece of paper that everybody's talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd been there a few days before.
Yeah, he was up there for like 5 days.
And everybody that ever knew the guy said he, didn't.
Well,
They don't
that's
believe it.
yeah. I was gonna
They
say
don't believe he
there
did it.
there was there's some conflicting reports coming from his wife. I mean, like what I did hear, I don't know if it's like legit because NBC does say some shit just to get fucking viewings. Is that there was some commenting from what was said um, to the wife to the FBI when she was talking to them about some deteriorating condition where he was moaning and screaming in the middle of the night. I don't fucking know exactly what kind of condition that would be, or even if it is legit.
Schizophrenia, maybe.
Uh,
Dementia. He was how old? 64.
yeah, but I don't know if you would be getting. He was
He was
putting.
taking Valium.
He was taking
So, I
Val.
mean,
But you can't. you could technically be in a blackout in Valium, but not like if you're drinking. Yeah, you could, but I don't. You'd be completely incapacitated. You wouldn't be able to pull off what he pulled off. You're in a complete fucking blackout.
well, no, Kurt Cobain did it, remember? He had Valium and heroin, and he still managed to shoot himself in the head.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, he had a pretty hefty tolerance. He was shooting a couple grams of dope a day.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've never done heroin, so I don't know how the tolerance works with that. But I don't know.
Develops pretty quickly.
Even cool. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm good on the heroin myself.
Well, I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised. I was saying, 2 days ago, I wouldn't be surprised in the toxicology report that there were drugs in his system.
Oh
Um,
yeah, he was a god mode, right? An energy drink, Adderall, a blunt. Yeah.
a massive cocaine binge.
I'm surprised there ain't more videos.
Well, there was some weird stuff that was talked about his one of the properties that he owned. Apparently, he had bought this house overlooking a hill that was you could see in the horizon. I guess the next city over, and he was putting up things to block the view and for the neighbors to not see into the house. So, his poppycock fishcock. Uh, um, um, presentation about who he is just, there's little holes that are seeping through. There was also some reports from which could all be hearsay gossip about the way that he talked to his wife. There was a one quote that I own you, and I pay for all of your stuff, or some shit like that.
Well, there's others with his family members though that don't seem to jive. One of them says he believes he
His
was
brother.
set up. The other one's like, he didn't really believe he did it.
Well, I think his
It's
brother. I
not the
think
typical.
the brother that they found. I think he still has warrants, from what I heard.
Hmm.
His
Oh, the one they interviewed?
yeah, I heard his background was all littered with possessions and failure to appears and stuff like that. I think Alex Jones put it. I don't listen to Alex. I mean, I don't put like a lot of 2 cents in a lot of Alex Jones says, because he'll say one thing the next day, and the next day it'll be something completely different. But he said I would have called that guy squirrely if it was a movie plot.
I don't know. Alex Jones pretty much lost his credibility whenever he went before that judge and said it's just an act. When they talking about taking
Yeah,
his kids or whatever.
yeah, we're supposed to
So,
forget that too.
oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, when this initial event happened, Alex was saying that this was ISIS, and I was just like,
Antifa.
yeah,
Antifa.
Tifa, and I'm like,
Now
well,
they did have a member of Antifa claim it was one of theirs or whatever the hell.
a lot of these groups
Yeah.
will claim anything. If you know anything about ISIS, they will claim anything, like literally anything.
Speaking of ISIS, the 4chan posts that have been coming up,
Oh, really?
those are interesting. The gun running, and you've heard about that, right?
No, I haven't. No, I was
Yeah,
the
it could have been
last I was
possible.
following on was there's an ISIS bot. I spotted an ISIS spotter bot profile that on Twitter. It can't be done by human. I'm assuming it's a bot because the information that's coming out, or the way that it's tweeted, is just too fast. I was actually looking at some of the stuff he was posting, some of the profiles that were posted, and I'm like, well, they weren't. Couldn't. Some of them are not exactly what they said. So on this, let me see.
Oh, that's the. I'm sorry, that's the flight, the plane he owned or whatever. If you look at the flightware.com and search the tail number N5343M, you will see that the number M, or the number, belongs to SR20, that at one time was registered to Stephen C. Padlock of Mesquite, Texas. But it goes back to this company works with the Defense Intelligence Committee or community. Uh, so that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and he was an accountant for Lockheed Martin at one point.
Yeah, I was going to say something about that. So then we see something earlier where he worked for them.
Innovative science engineer, technical assistance to the U.S. Intelligence and other Department of Defense.
But not had that had to get vital at. There should be a LinkedIn or something around with that information on it if his name is on any of that.
Well, the link is actually in the 4chan from the screenshot. Is actually the PNG file is right there on the 4chan post.
I'll get the link. Hold on.
Yeah. It's flightware.com/resources/registration/N534343M. Very interesting. Now, Micro, you were saying you were talking to somebody, and this could have been a flop sting operation.
Yeah, I talked to a detective earlier today. They've always used motels, cheap motels. Nothing cheap in Vegas, but they'll use motels for sting operations, guns, drugs, prostitution, They'll use abandoned warehouses sometimes to make those types of exchanges, like such as guns or drugs, depending on the mass amount or whatever they're trying to set up. And
What I was hearing is that a lot of them are looking into the motive in actuality we should be looking more at the victims. You know, it's another playing factor.
I mean, we do have ISIS here in America. Some of them are known as alpha root camps. I have heard reports around Texas and Louisiana areas of a group called Camel Bloods, which is an Arabic gang, uh, like like American Gang Blood or Crip or whatever.
That's a new one. I've never heard that before.
Nah,
What's that? The Blood Camels?
no, never
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah, I've had a friend who's been following them for 2 or 3 years now.
No shit.
I don't remember what it was. She was telling me. Yeah, they're all over Facebook. They've had a few accounts posted on Facebook.
So what are they, like, sleeper cells?
Yeah, possibly they're working their way into American gangs, selling the drugs, running guns. That's how it goes. Yeah, having Americans overdose on drugs because it's how the Afghanis
Oh,
invaded Russia as
you,
well with the
you know what
crocodile.
I was talking about that last God on one of our shows. Um, um, was the fentanyl that was getting released in the Midwest into the heroin. Um,
Yeah, Gray
yeah,
Death. That's what they call it, I believe.
well, yeah. If you think about it, like logistically, me being a recovering addict, and being all over the place in that world, uh, fentanyl is not one of those things you come across every day on the street. Even on, in the dark net. I guess, but to come up on a large distributor with that would be
Yeah.
mixing that kind of shit. It's just it had to have been somebody who had a large amount. It was
Oh
definitely
yeah.
done on purpose.
If you work some sort of medical facility like Pfizer or something, they're keeping account of what you're doing. So if any of that vial comes missing, you're in trouble. I know a guy who works for a medical facility like that. He's like, man, he's like, they're tight on security as far as what opiates are going through that we're mixing, or like you said, fentanyl, many things like that. He said they're counting it before it goes out there. They know how much they should have at the end of the count. They know how much they had before. It was like they'll even weigh it to see if the actual weight is there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, usually in the medical field, you don't get any what we would call powder. And it is, they have. Did they have that in the ampules? They're always in liquid. And usually you don't see shit like that, like fentanyl, like in any kind of powder form, like what you would be using, mixing it in with heroin.
Yeah, it's usually in a liquid form, isn't it?
Well,
Like what you
liquid,
just said.
gel, buccal, lollipops. Nothing you would see in a powderized, so nothing you could easily distribute into a couple kilos of heroin. Nothing like that.
I like putting formaldehyde in somebody's weed.
That has been done before.
Oh, shit.
People do some weird shit with their drugs. If you want those opiates, they're gonna. I mean, if those terrorists are here, they're gonna get it here, and they'll find an easy way to knock you all
Well,
off. Or you know what I'm saying?
to say that it wasn't, it couldn't have been government, or a government psyop, or an act of some weird form of terrorism. That was kind of like where my head was going when that shit was going down.
Yeah, something went flop there. There's a picture went viral of the window that she supposedly shot out of. I remember watching some of the videos, and it was like there was two windows
Yeah, there's two
that were wide open.
there's two windows that were wide open, and that were shot or they look shot out. So, like I
Well,
said,
you had some down low, and you had some up high.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've still yet to
And
get
that,
the pictures from my friend from the Mandalay Bay, what it looks right now from the front. But those will be coming soon.
that big amount of crowd, you could have thrown a handful of rocks and knocked somebody out just for the hell of it.
Did you also hear the report that he also fired off like 200 rounds back in when he was the guard was coming up?
Uh-uh.
You didn't hear about that?
Well, no,
That might have been what the delay was all about in between one of
there
the
was
volleys.
on the police scanner radio. There's a mentioning of a guard shot, but you never hear anything. And then I saw something later like he might have gotten killed, but that story kind of dropped off. I never was he just shot or did he actually die?
He would no he's alive. He was I think he was unarmed. They saying he was an unarmed guard. Came up and he was shot in the leg, but I believe they were saying that there was like 200 rounds shot off.
Wow.
That could have been what the delay was all about.
Hmm.
And they're
So
Well,
saying
yeah,
that
they sure took a long. I mean, you know how fast those guys can get to you on the tables when you're jacking around. I mean, it's like they're right behind you.
you know,
If you try anything at a table, and it's funny, it took them 9 or 10 minutes to even get going when there's somebody ripping through rounds and mowing people down. It's like I just can't see how it took that long.
well, you know what they were
yeah,
saying is that the actual event started at 10:05, and then that the last shots were fired at 10:19. So he was firing for a while.
That's a long time, man.
That's a while,
And
yeah.
it sure as hell don't. That's what people. It's like when you're causing a ruckus in the room, how fast those guys can get there and be knocking on your door, and you're telling me that's going on, and they're not getting. There's no urgency. Nobody's moving. I'm
yeah.
not buying that.
You know what's also
So
weird?
the
You know,
Or
there was a
camera
they
shooting
just
at the
got scared.
Bellagio. There was a shooting at the Bellagio at like around the same time. You know,
Tropicana, New York. It's multiple Bellagio.
I didn't hear about the New York.
Yeah, there's a list of calls. It was a posting. It was a list of like a call sheet, and you could see them and had the info like when they came in and yeah. Well,
Yeah,
shakes down whether it sounds right.
I was going to say they're unrelated at this point. In error in judgment.
It's more likely that they are than they are not.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't live in Vegas, but I can ask my friend how often gunshots are in the Strip. Can't imagine they're as common.
they are.
Yeah,
In the area, but yeah, maybe not necessarily on the strip, but
but at the same time that this shit's going on.
yeah.
That'd have been a good time to knock off a casino in between.
I was gonna say, in Chicago, that's everyday life, but I don't know.
It's the same way in Vegas. Somebody's always trying to pickpocket somebody, get caught. Somebody's trying to run from the taxi and not pay. Just like any other place. Just
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean,
different.
I've been there several times. It's like, man, there was a couple times you see guys that go, they're eyeballing stuff and they try to steal chips off a table or something. And I mean, that security runs out there so fast. It's like they don't even make 2 steps away from that table, man. They're taking them down.
well, they also have armed guards at the
This,
casinos, on the
yeah, they're
casino
all
hall.
over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
There's plenty of armed guards. Okay, maybe this guy. And why would you send if you got shooting going on? Why do you send the guy upstairs that's unarmed? That don't make any sense. Unless you
Oh,
want to get people killed,
a lot of this shit
Well,
doesn't add up.
that might have
So
been
like,
what took so long to get security there. They were like, which one of you guys want to go unarmed? We don't have a gun.
You know what I am. So you know what I am fearful is that, like I said before, is that they're going to put this into some sort of mental disorder. With this guy, And that'll be the official story that will go down in the history books. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their main excuse for shooting people on the streets now. Oh, they had a mental disorder.
Well, I mean, I'm already seeing, what seems to be the perfect storm, and I'm going to kind of bring this back into, getting a lot of flack from this. But what I'm seeing on the back channels, or a lot of anti-gun people are right now. They're trying to impose bills on, trying to get rid of our Second Amendment rights. Right now they're trying to specifically go after the bump assists. The bump assists haven't been around for that long, but I mean, I don't remember hearing any legislation about them trying to even put anything on. Have you heard? This is like the first I heard that they even tried to go after those.
The NRA has supported it.
I got something right now on that. Hold on, I'll send it in the chat. But yeah, they already have.
Yeah, the NRA is supporting it.
Well, what I don't understand is like, and we were talking about this before the show. Is that a lot of people don't understand what the Second Amendment is really about, and it is one of our inalienable rights. So to say and to limit what we can and can't do to protect ourselves on what the law was actually put or why it was put there for, I don't know, just seems to be counterproductive.
Well, in
Yeah, but
most
the
states, you can't defend yourself unless you're in your home or you're in your vehicle. Anyways, you got to be in your home or in your vehicle. You can't be out in the open.
Well, actually, the Second Amendment wasn't there for you to be protecting yourself against other citizens. It was there to be protective, to arm yourself against. Specifically, it was invading forces or your own government.
that's correct.
Yep. So when they put this legislation that you can't own military grade weapons, is kind of like, well, that's what the second. Well, I mean, if they have military grade weapons, you should be able to have military grade weapons because it is your inalienable right.
That was pretty much. It seems to be the original intent was you're supposed to be equal and be able to continue to get what was available for everybody else.
But they seem to be into
Of course,
everybody seems to be
as
interpreting it completely different. I see
yeah,
I
and
see
then
I see it black and white, and a lot of people are like, well, oh, that was written so many hundreds of years ago, and it doesn't apply today. No, when the people wrote this shit, they knew exactly what the fuck they were doing.
yeah, we seem to think that something's changed in the last couple of hundred years, and as far as human relations go, nothing has changed. History it repeats itself. They did all this based on history. They knew the past and what had happened before. So and then there was 700 years of common law, backing up. They didn't just come up with the Declaration of Bill of Rights. That was all kind of laid out over the
Beforehand.
previous, from 1215 on or whenever the Magna Carta was.
Well, they're already attacking that. When they say, the government says you don't need a gun, you need a gun. There's people out there saying that this wouldn't have happened if there was harsher gun laws, and I'm just gonna say that the gun laws right now are pretty fucking harsh. Um,
Let's not forget Hillary's statement of silencers, of how bad it could have been if. And she don't even know what the hell a silencer.
she doesn't
What
know
a
what the fuck she's
moron!
talking about. The silencers wouldn't be used
Exactly.
in this. Yeah, and second of all, silencers also they not only do they also reduce the speed of the bullet. They do impact. Besides making a lower decibel, your accuracy is not there. So
Yeah, then they'll start banning 2 liters, 20 ounces, paper towel rolls because you can make a silencer quick and easy
you
out of
can make
one.
a you can make it. Yeah, I was gonna say they have a there's a cheap silencer out there. It's called the Can, and basically all it is an emptied out oil can.
Yeah. Oh, oil filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used a PVC pipe.
I think you get a one. I was
Improvised.
gonna say that you can even get more ghetto than that. Use a potato. You only get one shot though.
Yeah, PVC pipe, it does break up after a while, but it works.
What do you think pillows are for used for?
Sleeping.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to back it up, I mean, being pro gun myself, people actually do hunt with silencers. Actually, know quite a
You can,
few. Yeah,
Suppressors.
You
Suppressors.
can't.
suppressors. Sorry,
There you
they
go.
use
Yeah.
they use it specifically when they're taking on a bolt action rifle when they're using when they're hunting game because in case they miss, they can get another shot without spooking the animal.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
You're not out there with a 50
Well, they're
caliber
still
pistol.
getting the pop because the guy I know is still using high velocity rounds, but yeah, you don't want to be using a low velocity round on an elk or a deer.
You don't want to hurt the animal's ears before you blow his head off, right?
Right.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for that, but
That's all right. Well, the Second Amendment is for containing your government or
that's
being able to fight
specifically.
your government when it goes rogue.
And it
That's why
has.
it's there. It's not for hunting.
It's not for
There's a reason it's
protection.
there.
Not protection
And
against your fellow mates.
no, yeah. And so you put up. I mean, the bad thing is, in the meantime, between revolutions, you put up with guns being around, and what happens because there's a bigger concern, and that's this need when it comes, and it doesn't always come or it's not on schedule or anything, but when it comes, it's why it's there.
I was surprised that the NRA is giving a positive statement on this regulation of the bump assist.
Look, look, man. I joined a lifetime member NRA in the '90s, and I was sorry I did it because all I've seen them do is cave in every time it's important
They're
for
like, "Come on, guys, we
over
just gotta
20
let."
years
I
now.
was gonna say, yeah, we just gotta let this
Yeah,
one go. Now we can't do the
yeah.
AKs anymore.
It's
Okay.
all big. It's all big talk until the time comes, and then they cave in every time.
Did you see
Damn near
the
every time.
post I posted in the chat there?
Oh, let me see. Hold on.
What is that?
Nancy Pelosi.
Oh God. I don't give anything she says worth a damn.
It's an epidemic. Let's see. Blah blah blah.
It's an epidemic.
Moral duty. Oh, see.
First Congress must bipartisan King Thompson legislation. What the fuck?
I've never heard of it. Have you?
No.
My take on that would be those are the two scumbags that are getting together to stick it to you on guns.
Mm-hmm.
Last names, King and Thompson.
Oh, King Thompson. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, bipartisan. There you go.
Yeah, to keep this thing. Yeah. They're using it as a
Yeah.
perfect storm to, well, take away our weapons,
Sure. They're always on message. That's what you can count on the Democrats, aka the communists, to do. They're always on message. The agenda's clear. It's every time. They're not constitutional. They don't get it.
I was gonna say every
I think
every,
both
every
parties are
law that
stupid.
every law that they pass to try and take away anything on weapons and guns has been unconstitutional.
Yeah, probably up to me. Yeah. And I mean, does it work in Chicago? Does it work in
Nope.
any of
No,
these?
it doesn't. There are more guns. There are more shooting. Okay. If you want to do statistics, okay, gun, and I was a resident of Chicago for God a while. years. And the statistics there are more people shot there a day than some of the statistics we saw in Iraq. Not all of them are dying,
Right.
but
Well, here's the thing. 1 month of Chicago is what just happened in Vegas. So, yeah, it's spread out a little bit more, But look, I mean, how many years have you put up with that?
well, in Chicago, it's really weird, where you can't even own a gun anywhere. You can with special. You can't actually buy the gun in Cook County. You need to buy it in the neighboring county. And there's so much fucking paperwork and pitch posh that they make it so that you don't. It's actually deterrent. So the easiest thing to do is to buy it off some guy down the hood, and they got tons. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So
They don't
in all
want to
these,
talk about that though. They don't want to talk
yeah,
about that.
yeah. Why not? Well, let's talk about it. Why is it that these Democrat-run urban, large cities where the guns are getting squeezed and they have more problems?
And
If
that
that
is who the
isn't true,
Democrats are for, by the way. The people, the underprivileged, the poor people, the poor black people in the. But yet those are the ones that are killing each other, and yet they don't say nothing.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess it's
they're
because they're killing each other.
No, I was going to say also they're what was going on in Chicago. All of the plans that they have done to help, and I know specifically what's going on down near the Randolph Divide. All the programs that they've been implemented have fucking flopped. Mainly because of funding and corruption. Pretty much. There you go. I mean, people are less likely to inkling to kill each other if everything's, if people have, um, chances to get out of the shitty situation that they're in,
But they're taught that it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's somebody else's fault. I'm not gonna say who, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you go down to the south side of Chicago, I mean, there's so many fucking boarded up schools, and a lot of the funding to help people out who have financial problems or getting access to certain things that they need, that's all been cut off. So, and I don't see it getting any better. I don't see it getting any better in that part of the U.S. I don't even think they have an official budget at this point in Chicago.
yeah, Illinois is about broke, isn't it? I don't know about Chicago itself, but
Illinois, yeah,
it's in
yeah.
big trouble.
I was gonna say, it'd be better off if they just declare bankruptcy instead of just raping everybody for all the taxes. It's so bad in the city that they not only they're trying to get you every which way impossible, but a lot of the ways they're trying to get the average citizen is through absurd taxes, and a lot of it's through parking violations, and you have really aggressive tow truck drivers that will scour around the city looking for any if you're an inch over the line or whatever, they fucking tow it. And then as soon as you get into the tow yard, they won't let your car out until all your fucking left, right, X, Y, and Z is on the dot, and then plus the extra fees that they want you to fucking pay. You don't walk out of a city tow yard without paying $250 plus or $500. And if you're not well off, you don't that's a couple of bills right there. That could be your light bill. That could be part of your rent.
all right. Well, what is the definition of communism? What is it? Communism. What is that? That's where the government pretty much takes control of everything, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't
What
have
is it
individual
when
rights.
somebody
They
lives in
own everything.
poverty and can't afford nothing, and the government pretty much takes care of them, with food stamps and whatnot. But so you
They
got the
don't.
Democrat. That's why the Democrats are doing it. They want the communists. They're all communists. It seems like.
Well, they don't. Here's the thing: is that the food stamp situation is bad as well. They give them for a family. I think in Chicago for a family I think it's for a mother and a child. I think on average they're getting about $150 a month in food stamps. So try and
It helps, but
I
that's
was
not
gonna say
enough. But
that
it does help.
that doesn't last very long.
Well, we got to decide what we're going to be. Are we going to be socialist and communist, and we're going to try to give everybody a life, even those that don't produce, or are we going to go back to a capitalist system? Not the crony capitalist system we're in now. That's why nobody likes it.
I was gonna say that
You have to
I
have
don't think that we've ever seen a true capitalist system though.
maybe in the whatever it would be, say 1790 to maybe 1840.
I
That would
think
have
we
been the
should have
best
banned
period.
all isms.
Maybe then, and it got harder as you've gone on in time.
Yeah.
But it's not now because you see how it works. If you're not lobbying and AKA bribing your politicians, you don't get certain deals, or you get hurt in some deal. So the government, corporate relationship there. In other words, fascism is pretty much what we're under.
We need to take money out of politics, period.
And they should all be volunteer positions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
Well, that's really how it started. You went back to your regular jobs. You were still a representative or whatever, and you met for a short period of time, and then you went back to your job and your life. You weren't a full-time politician.
Right. There should be no way for a politician to be able to have power whatsoever, because they're going to abuse it.
They do.
A few politicians that we have now that are actually, pretty, Trey Gowdy. He seems like he's there for what he's there for, not to get rich or powerful or.
I would say very few people in politics are that way. Very few.
Power corrupts.
Not only that, it doesn't make any sense. Now that you get a government job and you're well off. It pays more than any other job you probably get out there.
Yes.
And less gets done.
Special immunity.
Yeah.
Special immunity.
Yeah, and you get health care that's way better than any Obamacare you're going to get. Plus, they make themselves immune from their own laws. So we're not even equal under the law.
That is true. It is a form of a caste system.
You bet.
God, maybe I should post those videos on money in the caste system. I wonder if I still have it somewhere. I got it somewhere. I think it's in relation to one of the Federal Reserve videos. God, who the fuck made it? I think it was Cymatica. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that was your version.
Yeah, that was my version. Yeah.
There's another one I think called Money Makers.
Was the Four Horsemen, wasn't that similar? I think so. Maybe. That's another documentary.
The American Dream was a cartoon.
Oh yeah. The one, the free one, the cartoon one. Yeah, I've tried using that one to explain how the Federal Reserve works, but I found a better one that's condensed into 3 minutes. That seems to be where
3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes seems to be where people's attention spans are. I mean, it misses a lot of the stuff, but kind of explains the gist about how the Federal Reserve System works.
Well, it's no wonder they're confused. I mean, if all you got time for is 3 minutes for American history and the history of the Federal Reserve, you're not going to get the whole picture.
Well, people will actually take longer than 3 minutes if you throw in UFOs and I don't know, Antarctica and crap. They'll hold their attention. For some reason,
videos rolling around.
I got it. You just throw the UFO thing somewhere in the middle and just can like kind of pop it in here and there.
Well, have the Federal Reserve and the UFO, and people will watch it and throw I don't know, Bermuda Triangle or some kind of Sasquatch in, and
uh,
But learning what's going on and exactly how you're being screwed, that's not important. I don't want to know about that. See?
well, you're already getting screwed before the money gets into your hands. It's already debt based. By the time the money has gotten to your hand, it's already fucking debt.
Yeah, the way they arrange it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they get interest if they do that. The other way, they don't get
I
any
don't think they
interest.
should be called the Federal Reserve because they're not federal. But I mean,
Well, that was done
And there
by
are no reserves.
that was actually done by design to make people think it was official and was part of the federal government. It's not.
Yep. Yep.
maybe that's how we get rid of it. We petition
Well,
to
see,
have
it's
the name changed.
unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional as well because there is no provision for something like that in the original documents. In fact, they were specifically against crap like that because they knew it's like if essentially, if private banking can take over your country, they've got you.
Yeah, they're also in bed with the Internal Revenue Service.
That's the
Social
enforcement arm.
Security.
Yeah, that's the enforcement arm.
Yeah, they came in together. Well, of course, you had to have an enforcement arm. You think these rich bankers are going to go thug everybody? They're fat and lazy. They haven't done shit since they, was born with a silver spoon in their mouth. There got to be other people to do it. In fact, we're going to get you slaves to pay for it as well. You pay for the budget for the IRS to go out there and kick your ass when you don't do what they tell you. It's quite a deal, man, when you really think about it.
You remember when Aaron Russo went after the IRS and it went kind of nowhere when he had that no pay the IRS, and he was talking to
Yeah.
the ex-director of the Internal Revenue Service, quoting specific cases and previous laws, saying it was unconstitutional and it was actually a voluntary tax.
I think I remember something about that.
Yeah. Originally, yeah.
And he died of cancer.
Yeah, Aaron Russo was also attacked by. He didn't go with. Remember, he was attacked. What was the guy's name? It was the Rockefeller, right?
Well, he was friends with Rockefeller, and Rockefeller told him
they were friends, and then they
pretty much
weren't.
everything that was going to happen in the next century. Then he ended up getting cancer and dying. I don't know. That's kind of odd. Anybody that ever speaks out that has a voice, you'll notice they either have a heart attack, have an accident, or get cancer and die.
Yeah.
Bill Hicks was one of them. He got a lot of people's attention, and he got cancer and died.
Yeah, I think it was Aaron Russo was also talking about the RFID chips, like in a passing conversation with
I think it was Alex Jones.
Was it Alex Jones, or was it? I'm pretty sure that's Aaron Russo's voice on. I think he's talking to Alex Jones about that.
Yeah. That was the goal, to get everybody chipped.
Yep.
That way, if you don't follow orders, you don't follow, they turn your chip off. Then you don't eat. Then you don't. But that's their goal, to get everybody chipped. Which, in a way, they almost kind of already do.
Yeah. Did you guys watch? I also put up in the headlines for the show. But did you guys hear that the DHS is now going to be monitoring social media websites? Micro, how the hell did you know where I was at? You fucking.
Oh no, that was from Mr. Paddock. I'm trying to see if there's anything on.
I was gonna say, man, did you just fucking hack me?
No.
I was like, man, I am so close to there.
I'm not. Yeah.
But no, the DHS will be monitoring. It's a second implementation of all this DACA shit that's going on. That they will be monitoring social media accounts to look for immigrants on social media platforms. They're also. Did you hear about today in Wilshire in Los Angeles? There was a locked arm protest against all this shit. It wasn't big, but
Did Antifa show up?
no, it was just. I don't know what kind of activist there. It could have been any. It could have been any actor. It wasn't really. I don't think it was active. It didn't seem like a big crowd.
Well, if you're going to be in LA, that's one of the nicer places in that area.
Stephen C. Paddock, Hawthorne.
He has no record, no social media, so
I don't
he's
even
not
know.
public.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know if that's.
He was 60-something years old, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always find the older people like him and people under 18, there's absolutely no digital fingerprint of them whatsoever, especially if they go through life with
You
a
know what?
totally
You know what
clean
really
record.
was. You know what really was weird is that there is a photo of him with his Asian wife or Asian girlfriend, and he has a 13 tattoo on his neck, but on the death photo there is none. You guys see that, or am I the only? Am I just my mind playing tricks on me?
Yeah, no,
I
several
heard
have
no, I
said
heard
that.
something
Yeah.
about that.
It could be a reverse photo. You really need a photo lab. Uh, you can try 10i or Rev Eye. Photo forensics, like I said, you're
Well,
gonna have to make
you'd have to have the original photo to do any kind of forensics on it, though.
true.
But
Yeah,
that
it could be just a flip photo, left neck, right neck. Which way is the 13 going? Is it mirror?
well, there was no tattoo on his neck from his death photo. I remember before the girlfriend even came forward, a lot of places were blurring out her picture. Now they aren't.
Yeah, she lawyered up pretty quick, didn't she?
Yeah, she's. I don't know, man. She done fucked herself if she ain't guilty. Tell you that.
Oh,
Yeah, I would have never came to the U.S. and say fuck you. I was gonna say she has to know something, dude. Like,
oh yeah.
yeah, she does. I was gonna say she ain't that innocent. Remember they're going after the
Look.
Remember they're going after the Boston bomber. They're going after that girlfriend that was driving around the nightclubs.
Oh, huh.
Yep.
Well, of course, the FBI would include them in the investigation, right? That means you have to go to a titty bar a few times to investigate.
Yep. Number 13 on his tattoo. I mean, if that's not like hair growth, that looks like a shitty 13 tattoo. You know?
Yeah, it's an old one. It's faded out.
I mean, you could get it. You could have it removed, but still.
That is, that could be lighting or whatever. Why get a 13 right there in your neck? That just seems kind of odd.
And maybe
Unlucky 13. Lucky 13.
No, it ain't real. It's got to be lighting.
You
Well,
think
then
so?
again, he could have got it at a different age.
it
Well,
could. It looks like
I found
10.
another picture with it not on his
I was
neck.
gonna. I was gonna say. I was gonna say. I don't think he worked at Lockheed Martin with that tattoo on his neck. Hell no.
Not back in that day. Yeah,
No.
you wouldn't be a suitor because they don't want you out there with tattoos.
Unless he got it. I mean, was he retired or
Yeah, he's been retired
when he
for a
retired?
while.
Okay, well, there's a picture of him without it. So
That's how he looked when he was younger, though.
yeah,
Well, I'd look into this Filipino gal and where her family's from, what part of the country,
I think
other
Manila,
family.
Manila, where all that shit was. No,
Um,
Manila's not this where the shit's going on.
Marawi
Marawi.
is in the south. Yeah, yeah. We never got back to those uh, that Philippine story.
Well, he wired. He
It's
supposed her story is that he wired her the money to buy a house, and he thought she was breaking up with him. But
Yeah, that's how I break up with all my girls. I give them a
Why
whole bunch of money.
$100,000 to buy a house?
Yeah, and then go blow away a bunch of people. You know,
Yeah. He had a deteriorating condition where he was moaning and screaming in the middle of the night. What the fuck?
where did that come from? I mean, what? I mean, even if you did, it's like,
It's from
okay,
an NBC article, man, and
okay,
it's in quotation.
whatever.
It's in quotation into her. Uh, it looks like it's in taken out as something that was in context related to what to an. It. I don't know. I'm
That's
kind
her
of.
statement.
It looks like in relation to her talking to an FBI agent. I'm not sure if any of that
No.
stuff is public. I don't know where NBC would have got any of this shit.
Well, from all their friends at the deep state, you know, they're part of the gatekeeper media, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Just like how they, CBS knew who did the who was behind 9/11 within hours.
Yeah, it's okay when they leak it when they want to.
Because
Any other time, it's not okay.
the gatekeepers know, right?
Yes, the gatekeepers decide
Yeah, yeah.
at the Ministry of Truth.
You want to hear the top conspiracies that are going around about this thing?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I'm
Wow.
UFOs.
It's probably in there. Give me a minute. One of them's a pyramid. The
Oh,
shooting
Well, there
happened
was.
near
I
the
heard
Well,
about.
Luxor
the
Hotel, which is
Luxor is
shaped
right
like a
nearby.
pyramid.
Yeah, I heard about that. It was the Illuminati that had done it because the Luxor is across the street. Yeah, I
There
heard
you
that
go.
one.
Yep.
He was an Illuminati. It was an Illuminati sacrifice. I heard that one.
Freemasons have been associated with the Illuminati, and the 32nd floor hotel room is linked, say theorists. 33 degrees, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. I get it.
Well, there's a 32nd level too.
Yeah. Oh, now the fourth one is, I still don't. One witness told local news that a strange woman told concert goers, "You're all going to die before the shooting."
Yeah, I'm surprised. No, I haven't seen any reports in relation to who these anybody looking into these people. You know.
Well, they were escorted out, so they may or may not have their name. You never know. Seems like you'd
Well,
get
they
their
got the
name.
video of the girl. Have y'all seen the video of the girl telling the news?
Yeah,
Telling
yeah,
the story. Yeah.
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 Well, you seen these other guys? I guess they were really drunk. One of them was shooting the bird at the gunman while the whole thing was going on, and then the
Oh
other
yeah,
guy
I heard
was
about
sitting
that.
there drinking a beer with his gal, and they were standing up.
Saying yeah, giving the guy the
Well, that
bird.
one
Yeah.
guy's running with a beer. I mean, if I'm getting shot at, I'm not going to, nurse my beer and try to keep it from spilling. I'm going to
Well, I mean, if you're pissed
drink the
drunk,
beer. Well,
like I've been in that kind of state where you just like I don't give a fuck. Eh.
the 13 is a big conspiracy. Some people don't believe that this is a
Oh,
tattoo. It could have just been the way the skin on the neck was hanging. Of course, his skin there.
yeah.
Other people are convinced that this is some kind of sign. There are several different things associated with the number 13. And okay, well, that wasn't 10. Okay, it wasn't 10. It's 5. I guess it's top 5 conspiracies.
Do you think that you think it's a lighting effect or is it actually there?
If it is there, it's a really shitty tattoo, and that might have been why he shot people. He's mad about that tattoo.
Well, when you get older, they get wrinkled and then they kind of fade out.
Well, that's what this one looks like. So, I mean,
Yeah.
and if it was, I don't know. I think it might just be the way the lighting is. I can't find an image where it'll let me blow it up. But
Yeah,
it does look like a 13 now.
looking at his death photo, postmortem. definitely not there.
I know I almost started a conspiracy with this whole story, and that was one site I found that had a lot of the photos before they were released had one of another completely, totally different story, and it was a story about a cop slamming a woman to the ground, and the way the cops, it's only one image, and it's the cop's hand, and it looks like he's got some kind of glove, partial glove on, and he's wearing the same color shirt as the shooter, and it just looked almost like it was the shooter's hand, and it was all in the same little area. And you look at the glove that the shooter's wearing, and it's different gloves. So I was like, "Holy shit, there's something right there!" And of course, when I dug a little bit deeper, it turns out it wasn't even the same freaking story.
It seems like every major event brings out crazy.
I mean, you tell me.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I posted the image of the.
Well, I didn't see this one.
That's not the shooter. That's a totally different story.
Yeah. I thought I saw I thought this was the body vest video, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was. I think this guy. I think this cop was over the lady. I don't remember. Maybe I didn't see this one. I saw the POV cam where the guy was actually over a lady, saying he had a vest on, trying to protect her. But there's a lot out there.
Well, I think we can blow a hole in this story another way too, because I'm running across multiple military people saying that when you fire full auto like that, if that was a belt-fed weapon, which it sounded like, it's extremely hard to keep it lined up. You have to really be familiar with it, a lot of training and so forth, and
So,
that what you see is really not that easy to pull off.
well, what he's
Uh,
well, I mean, he's shooting at that kind of distance. Any little move moves it off a lot. You know.
yeah, now with the big crowd, okay, you've got more to play with and all, but still, he doesn't seem to have that training and just getting the gear together and going and doing it. It is extremely unlikely.
Does anybody know what gun he actually shot himself with?
It looks like to be honest with you, in that picture, it looks like he shot himself with
The handgun?
the snub nose. Looks like what is that?
I think it was a 22.
Is that a 22 or is that a 38?
I thought I heard someone say it was a 22 or that he had a 22. That was like one of the only handguns he had. He only had like a few handguns or something.
Let me see. Up in the upper right, that looks like it could be a 22 or a 38. It's not that big.
And you got to think, when the cops come in, they probably kick the gun away from him. I mean, I imagine that's what they did.
Yeah.
But why he's sitting on another one, I don't know.
He also looks like he's laying down on another
Yeah, that's what I'm
another
talking
AR.
about. I mean,
Yeah. They were saying some of these guns were jammed by the time they got up there. Whatever that meant.
when he was shooting them, they jammed, and he went and threw it down and got another one. He didn't even bother to clear a jam out. He just went and picked up another gun.
Yeah, but I was surprised at how long the timeline they say that they were actually shooting at. I didn't realize it was so long.
That's a long time, man.
Would've
I
been like
have to
9 minutes or
believe
something.
it.
I
I
think
was
it was
like
10:05 to
4,
10:19.
like 14 minutes. I can't believe if if that's going on that internal security wouldn't be able to handle that fairly quick. I mean, there's yeah, maybe some of them are going to lose their lives, but that's better than letting this guy continue to shoot. That would have been the priority at the time, right?
Yeah.
It's your
I
job.
don't
It's your
know
job. You're the armed security at a casino. Something's
what kind of weapons
happening.
you think they have. This guy's got a like whatever, either a drum or a belt fed, automatic weapon, and you got what, a flashlight or a little pistol,
Well,
and you're paid.
or you just let it go on, right? I mean, I have a problem with that.
They could also went up to the room and seen that he had the camera outside the door. I mean, that's possible. And they said, "Oh shit!"
I'm surprised none of that footage is getting released yet. Probably because
It probably never will be.
it's active investigation,
But
right?
but normally you will have at least a few of the police up there just saying, "The hell with it. We got to shut this guy down. This is crazy. We can't let this go on." And yet it just goes on and
I think
on and
the
on.
fact that there were multiple shooters is the reason they had trouble finding it, because they were getting conflicting, reports on where it was.
Well, you
Well,
would have to know. I mean, everybody in the surrounding rooms is going to be calling in, like, "What the hell's going on 2 doors down or next door?" Or all. I mean, it's going to be loud as hell. It's going to be easy to spot.
Yeah. Was there
oh,
any footage of
to the underground.
muzzle blast coming?
Sorry, I was going to say, if the underground resistance is listening, yes, I did attack your page. I'm sorry. Just throwing it out there.
Are, are we getting attacked again?
No, I just was looking through their feeds because they were one of the first people to say, put out videos that
Uh,
there were no nobody was actually shot in this whole event. I was like, well,
well, there's always a flat earther, right? I mean, that's
eh.
Flat. Never mind. I ain't gonna bring. Yeah.
We had one of them on our show. We had two of them
yeah, I
actually.
know. Ah,
Yeah.
damn it! It just
And I bet he left early too.
We had. Did we?
well, yeah,
Did I? I think I kicked him out of the chat room eventually.
yeah. Well, because we wouldn't really answer questions, and we were,
Remember, I was
it's
talking
like,
about.
okay, your flat earth theory is fine, but explain yourself. We're going to give you a chance. But if you're just talking bullshit, for an hour or whatever,
Remember?
then
No.
yeah,
Oh,
you got to put
remember
it into it. I
we had
mean,
to kick him off because he wanted to go. He wanted to go get a blunt and some liquor. Remember? And he just left the thing on.
oh,
Remember
That
you got to have your
explains a whole lot.
that?
you got to have your priorities.
It's so easy to debunk a flat earther. All you got to do is tell them, say, "Hey, look, all you got to do," because there's a video on YouTube of some kids who make a balloon that goes up above the atmosphere, and they got video of the whole thing. I mean, that's all they got to do. If you want to prove us wrong, get a balloon, make a balloon, send it up in the air, and there, show us it's flat. And you won't, because it's not.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I remember we were asking him, or one of our guys was asking the dude, like, how do you hold? So if the Earth is flat, where does the water go? And
Oh yeah. Oh,
he kept on saying that the reason the water doesn't fall off the Earth is because there's huge walls holding it in. And I was just like, oh my God, like, where do they find these people? Do you believe in unicorns as well? Shit,
Well, they're in the center of the earth.
fuck, like Middle Earth, right? Like with fucking
Yeah.
hobbits and shit. Fuck.
yeah. It seems common sense enough. Maybe if they're obviously, I always say they're dimensionally challenged. They get
uh,
they get 2-dimensional, but 3 is just a little bit too much. and can't quite get there. Therefore, the Earth is flat. See, they're flat earthers.
I've seen them try to relate it to Bible passages as well. I'm like, man, where do you get these people? Like, seriously, where do you get these?
Well,
I've
well, yeah,
asked
they got a
them, but the moon, look at the moon, it's round, and they go, oh, well, that's only because when you look through a telescope, it makes it seem like it's round. What? Seriously? I mean, that's just.
Yeah, there's a lack of common sense there.
You think that's what a lot of people think about conspiracy theories? Period. Wow, they're just stupid. They'll believe anything.
Well, some of it, yeah. I mean, others, it's you throw stuff out there when you don't know or you're speculating, but you still got to be reasonable about it.
I mean, the water is
It
so
has to have
muddy
some.
with just all the different things that
I mean, me personally, I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to conspiracy theories. I'll explore them out, like with Nibiru. I was pretty open-minded, dude, but like
I was in 2012 when it was supposed to come, but here it is, 2017. Dude, it's not coming. There's no planet.
Wow, they miscalculated the orbit there. It's
well, not only
so,
that, when it comes to Nibiru and the actual tablets, okay, that were supposedly translated by this guy. I think it's still Skitskin or still.
Zechariah Sitchin.
Okay, they
Yeah.
think a lot of people think that he didn't translate what was actually said. No, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of weird stuff that was carved into these things, but whether he translated it right or not, I'm thinking it's more towards the latter. He didn't translate any of this shit right. You know, for all we know, this could have been a children's story.
He was the only one that could read it.
True.
I mean, well,
There
he
have to be
probably
more
taught the
people
other
by
guy.
now. I mean, it should be debunked one way or the other by now.
I'm not sure if a lot of people are looking too much into those tablets at this point in time.
Yeah, there's not many, but it's like, geez, that for sure by now that would have been researched again. And
Well, that was kind of like, in relation to the Mayan Codex when they believe it actually didn't happen. The Mayan calendar didn't end on that day is because they miscalculated when year zero was. You ever hear about that one?
Well, that wouldn't seem right. They should have good enough records for that. Well, the calendar just restarted. It didn't actually end. It just restarted.
It's a cycle calendar. That's what it is. It just restarts.
So it's the end of that cycle.
The end of that epoch.
Baktun or whatever they call it.
Baktun, yeah. You guys reading up on what's going on in the UK?
Nope.
Well, in general, more censorship.
Yeah,
constantly.
So apparently,
by their
if you're viewing right wing or extreme propaganda, you can be hypothetically. Then I'm not sure how far along the bills, but this proposed that you could be in prison up to 15 years.
Gee, just right wing. See, I mean, I wonder what agenda is being pushed there for it to be just right wing speech that is a problem.
I don't know, but it's coming to a point where this is. I don't know. This is. If you have any political views that don't align with what the government's saying, and now they're going to get imprisoned for viewing the material, like what kind of world is that? Is that the kind of world that we want to grow up and have our children? And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm amazed that the Englanders don't rebel against this. I mean, if they will take that, they'll roll over for anything. When are they going to realize, that they want their free speech or they want their rights?
Well,
I mean, are they going to just put up with anything?
Well, what I heard is that
just...
the reason these laws can get passed is because they don't have a Bill of Rights.
Yeah, it's different. And then the Queen can always override, too. The royalty can. So you're not free. I mean, it's a whole another argument about why they're so brainwashed that they have to have kings and queens in the 21st century. That one alone baffles me. But you know,
Because she's a lizard.
that's your business. But I mean, let's try this another way. Do you enjoy being a slave? Okay,
Uh,
if the answer is yes, then all this makes sense. If the answer is no, well then what the hell are you waiting for? Because you're in a pretty bad spot right now. You got a bunch of pedophiles in your government that get a pass because allegedly pedophilia in government is a national security concern now at MI5 and GCHQ and the rest of these blowhard organizations that are over there. That's a big joke, man. So if you'll put up with that,
then you
I
put up.
guess you're just a good slave. You'll just put up with anything because the queen or the king says so. I mean, are you that pathetic?
Well, I can certainly see them trying to pull something similar here in the U.S. somewhere along the lines.
Yeah, it's not all that much different.
Remember when they were
Well, I
trying?
think
It is.
the right to bear arms is where they're having trouble with us.
Yeah,
Other
because
than that, they,
Yeah, they
know,
keep pushing, keep pushing.
they're going to keep pushing
Yeah.
and keep pushing until finally, one day,
Finally, they get
maybe.
enough GOP cowards together, like this group we have right now, that'll just go for anything. They might just get it done. Because I really don't see any of these cowards in the GOP getting ready to do much of anything about it. I've never seen a party that had all three branches of government, pretty much taken over the government and had control and would not stand up for their base platform. This group, however, will essentially just join up with the Democrats in anything they want, and it's okay.
Well, you got to
I
stop
have
looking
never
at it.
seen anything like this.
You got to stop looking at it as the left and right. I mean, that's one thing I think Alex Jones did get right is there is a left right,
It used to be,
paradigm thing. And now it's pretty much the top of the pyramid now.
yeah. You want
They're all the
far
same.
left or you just want left, because that's all you got. There's no right, nothing. Maybe the Constitutional Party. That'd be about the only one. Libertarians,
nobody
and they don't
listens to
get.
the
They don't.
nobody
They don't
listen.
get.
I was gonna say nobody
Yeah,
listens to the
that's
Constitution anyway. Yeah.
yeah. And well, even if you are a Green or one of the others, I mean, you're still trying. But with these two major parties, they're not going to let you have a voice. That's not allowed in the two-party dictatorship. See?
That is true. It's to give you an illusion that there is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rules don't even apply. The rules that they come up with don't even apply to them. All these requirements that the smaller parties have to get to certain percentages and all, none of that applies to Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, not even that's fair. They don't even hold their own corporate rules. They're a corporate party. You gotta remember that's a whole another story. But they don't even hold their own rules. They just keep changing them. And you got super delegates, and then we take your super delegates away, and it's all a big joke, man. I'm supposed to look at that and go, yeah, that sounds like a fair system. Yeah, every vote counts, man. You bet.
I don't know how much more the
I'm
citizens can
just,
take for everybody to wise up.
well, look at Catalonia.
Yeah, that's a precursor to
Oh,
what's going to happen here in the U.S. if one of us trying to secede from the union, might
you bet.
happen, which might happen November of 2018. Um, if this California thing keeps on going, if it gains momentum, that's a precursor to what will happen right here in the U.S. You'll see similar shit.
California.
Catalonia is 40% of the Spanish GDP. That area, no wonder they want to leave. It's like they're footing the bill for all the rest of the, let's call them slobs of Spain who don't want to participate. And and then they have the king over there saying how They're disloyal. You know, no wonder they want to leave. Yeah. As you send all your jackboots after them to kick them in the face while they're trying to vote, man, I tell you, if you ever want to endear the police to your population, that's a great way to do it, man. Kick them in the face when they're trying to vote, man. That's a great way to get the message across.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you see
Yeah,
the EU
it always
saying
works.
the
Yeah.
EU saying that it's the Illuminati EU management team or whatever the fuck they're called
Oh yeah.
just sits back and says it's Spain's internal problem. Okay.
Well, yeah, because they're too incompetent to do anything about it. They think they run everything, and then of course when shit hits the fan, you see they really don't have much power either.
Um, oh, we have a comment, about guns, and that's why they want to take our guns in relation to the shooting. Nikki, you are correct. They are using this event as an excuse to try and take away our guns as we speak.
Yeah, they're all on that message, and all these pillars of right wing philosophies like the NRA. You always hear Wayne up here, man. Mr. Tough Guy's up there, man. He's gonna like stand in front of that bullet. If anybody tries to touch the NRA, man. And then here, look. Let's everybody look at what they're doing when it's time to stand up. They're being cowards. That's the word, cowards, and not standing up when it counts. That's the NRA.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
Oh.
And the government's kicking you in the face. Boom! God, maybe I should put in some Larkin Rose videos. Nah, that's not time yet. Maybe I will. Maybe I will in the future. You ever heard about him? He talks about
That name sounds familiar, but
Larkin
I
Rose
can't.
was he started it was a movement, and he is a motivational speaker and an activist. He talks about especially what was going on with the DAPL movement and the militarization of the police. Um, um, is what you see when the state is losing its grab on control, and this is a last ditch effort to try and control shit.
Yeah, they have to shut your voice down. You have to censor you because nobody believes it anymore, and they have this psychopathic need to control the message, which nobody believes. 95% of the people don't believe media anymore. 90% of the people don't like their government. You know, those are like revolutionary level numbers. That's where you're at.
I don't
So
know. I don't know what event it will take for I know a lot of people are awake, but I don't know what event it will take for somebody to do something about it. I mean, it's like, yeah, we have a lot of groups and activists out there, trying to do stuff, but they're not. I don't believe they're doing it in a way that's actually gonna instead of going after Trump's speeches. You could go a little further and just go over to the White House or to the U.S. House of Representatives and knock it all out right there. Just saying.
there's plenty of people up in that area.
Yeah.
What, about 50 million
Something like that.
within 100 or 200 miles. So yeah, I mean, it's like, come on.
Well, I mean, if people don't overthrow it, it's gonna fall on its face financially. That's the reality of it. They might weasel it along and put some band-aids on it and say things are fucking great. But when those international loans get called in, our ass is grass, and we're already seeing that. The fall of the petrodollar is already starting. That's the first indication. You know.
Yeah, all these things around the edges. They can't hold the EU together. Can't even hold Spain together.
Nope.
You know, I think pretty much Poland and a few others, they've had it with all this immigration, all this crap.
Well,
You know,
kind of, you can even relate this, to the original purpose of Jade Helm. They ain't doing these military practices just because they're expecting a financial collapse. I guess that's my take on it. I mean,
yeah, Brexit, you get all these things. Nobody wants an overarching global uh, bureaucracy on top of everything else. I mean, we've got enough big government. It's like, why in the world would you want more of it? And it's failing. I mean, it's obvious.
well, that was actually never part of the plan to begin with. The government was always supposed to be limited and small, with limited power, but that's not the way it worked out.
Yeah, our government,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, you got too many of these royals and all these royal lovers, especially in Europe, man. You guys got to get rid of that shit and move on, man. That's a fairy tale. You know, that
Did you just
the
make this
tooth.
picture? Oh my god!
Who made that
Stuck
one?
there.
Did you just make this one? Fallout 3 Las Vegas.
New Vegas, yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, I mean, what's happening in Vegas is a staging ground for another pilot program for attacking our Second Amendment, one notch at a time.
It's all a slow repercussion to take rights away. Anyways, they can't do it all at once. They got to do a little bit at a time.
I heard even if they pass, this bump stock shit, it's gonna take them 6 months to implement it. So you still got 6 months to go buy them.
What are
You
they
know,
gonna do? Go door to door confiscating, or
you know,
just write you a
they said
ticket?
that gun rights or gun sales haven't gone up by this, but I guarantee they haven't checked the bump stock sales. I bet they're going up.
You know, honestly, I don't even want one of those things.
it's so
It's kind of
inaccurate.
cool
Yeah.
to look at in the video and everything, but it's like I don't even want one.
Well, I don't.
No,
It's
I
like
don't
yeah,
want.
okay, it's like whatever.
Well, I wouldn't want my stock.
ammo's too expensive.
Well, yeah, and I wouldn't want my stock moving around, punching me in the fucking shoulders if I wanted to go full auto. If you wanted to do it right way, just file your fucking pins down, dude.
That's illegal.
Oh, so what?
Yeah. Well, bump stock isn't like 3 springs and a extra shoulder piece, right? I'm not much on guns myself, but I know a little bit about them. I'll do some recaps real quick.
I just posted a breakdown of everything.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah. George Stubar also brought up um, November 4th. Yeah, so on November 4th, Antifa is planning something, and our march is on the 5th, which
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually, I heard they were also planning for the 5th also.
yeah.
Yeah, they want to get it kicked off early.
Well, maybe they're maybe I think that this might have been done deliberately. You know.
You think?
Yeah, yeah.
Not a
And
good thing
and I
either.
was hearing from some of the underground relays that Antifa is getting armed. You know. You hear about that?
Yeah, but have you seen the videos of them with guns? It's kind of
What is it?
sad.
What is it? A bunch of kids that don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. One of them, I don't know if it's just a kid trolling or what, but he's talking about, I got my AR-47, and it's hard to get the clip in. It's hard to get the clip in. You got to kind of work with it a bit.
Oh, my hand got caught on the slide. It hurts. I don't know. I always look at them like
I'm
a
about
bunch
to
of
post the
baffling.
image.
Yeah, I always look at them like a bunch of baffling idiots. Like, I don't know what the fuck that they're doing. I think that they know what they're doing, but I don't know.
Well, they're on a steep learning curve, but the longer this goes on, the better they'll get.
You think?
Yeah, but they better practice. See, they've already had a couple of beatdowns at Berkeley. Honestly, I'm surprised they're pushing as hard as they are, because they had a couple of beatdowns at Berkeley, and they didn't get the message. So, if they really, if you really want to go to the next level and try it, I
Well,
guess go ahead.
it's
But
like you're beating the shit out of the people around you, acting fucking crazy, but you're really not going after the fucking problem,
right, yeah, the myth. There's a cross message there.
Yeah.
But it's the angry youth. They're not all young, but honestly, that's kind of what I see. There's some old time hippies in there for sure, but
The roots are in the 1930s. They were actually communists.
yeah,
Yeah, at their roots.
and
If you want to go back in history.
yeah, well,
and 50%
yeah, I
of them,
think at the
after the
core,
Nazis kicked the shit out of them, they went to the Nazis.
Yeah.
50% of them.
that's right.
Yeah, people think Antifa is anarchy. Yep, George, I have run into that as well. Yep, they don't exactly know but they don't know where the roots came from.
Yeah, they're not really acting, like a true anarchist. They're acting more like the communists. They don't seem to realize that, though. They may still be anti-fascist. I'll give them that. But if you are, start going after the fascists.
Yeah,
Well,
instead
they
of
are. They're
Nazis.
going after
By all
everybody.
means, yeah. Hey, I'm okay with that. By all means, go ahead.
They're calling everybody Nazis.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So I'm not sure what they want. Well, they want to shut down your free speech and man. If anything's going to piss people off, that's it. You tell somebody's like, hey, you can't say anything unless you check in with me over here. Your minder.
Do
I'm
they
going to let
have?
you know if.
I'm not even sure if they even have. I think they're leaderless organization at this point.
Well, that's what they say. Yeah,
I don't
they're getting
know.
funded from
Yvette
somewhere.
Falarka seems to be pretty leading.
Yeah.
It
No,
all
there
depends
is.
on
There's a
the
definite hierarchy.
Well, there always is. There always isn't any real
Yeah.
on the back ends of anything. But,
You guys happen to watch that video I made on it?
no, I haven't.
I think I did. Yeah, that was pretty good. As the army of the NWO.
Yeah,
That one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Had a lot of Antifa coming on that too. They didn't like it very much.
Yeah,
well, the
they're
truth
getting
hurts,
big.
or what?
I saw them in Germany. Did you see them there?
Yeah, it's the same symbology.
Yeah.
You just convert the German to English, and it's the same flags and everything. I guess they were upset with how it turned out. See, that the Nazis actually kicked their ass and made them join the Nazis. See, that was the part they kind of missed from history, because they don't study history. They missed that part. See,
They were called beefsteak Nazis.
You're like, so we're communists? No, that's
wow.
not right. No, we're communists.
No, we didn't know that.
We didn't
man.
know we're communists.
Brown on the outside, red on the center.
Yeah, people think Antifa is anarchy, but people put Anon in the same category. If Antifa becomes the enemy, so does Anon. And they will label Anon as the enemy, and everybody will agree.
I've been posting it.
Antifa should be met by the Anon on the 5th. Imagine how we could react running into 100 Anons. They will turn into pansies. That's true. If we run into old school anons, yeah, not the new school ones, or old old fags, yeah.
They're too busy selling books and shit.
Old fags, yeah. I wonder what Jeremy will say once he gets out. Once he gets out of prison, he'll be like, "What the fuck happened? The fuck happened?"
He
I guess it all depends on what happens with America right now. Is he going to keep going on his downhill slope of a communist takeover, or are we just going to finally? I mean, how do you shut them up? How? You can't. Freedom of speech. So I mean, they have the right to.
Well, honestly, I would use the constitutional argument. I say, look, if you aren't going to abide by the Constitution of the United States, then we no longer have a relationship as countrymen or anything else. If you're not going to abide by it, then we don't have to as well. It's real simple. The deal is everybody abides by the founding document and the Constitution, or they don't. And if you're going to be of the opinion that free speech isn't allowed unless we say so, then you're not abiding by that document. See, it's so you break the contract, I don't know you a damn thing anymore. That's the way you have to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, one of
Because
the
that's the
bad
way they're
things.
looking at it. They can do whatever they want
One of the
and
bad
still say
things.
it's my free speech. No, that's not what we're talking about. That's not what you're doing.
One of the bad things is I've talked to some Antifa that are overseas, and they even agree. They say, look, America's Antifa is pretty fucked up, and we're not like that. And they're totally different. I mean, it's a totally different organization.
Well,
I
I see.
mean,
I've been seeing evidence of them trying to infiltrate, various groups, online, to try and gather recon on other activist groups. It's a little bizarre, dude. Like, well, not too bizarre, but
Well, yeah, I mean everybody's doing it to each other. Well, that's what that Mike Bluehair said. He has alt right people, chasing him around because they think he's a lefty and with Antifa, and he can't explain. It's like he gets it from both sides. They both think he's the enemy, and it's just like, man, just it's just too weird. It's just you can't, we
well,
can't even talk anymore.
it's like meanwhile, while you're both going after each other, nothing's getting done.
Yeah. Meanwhile, yeah, all the fascists, they're laughing at you. That's what they're doing. They're laughing at you because you're not doing anything. You're just fighting among yourselves, and that's just what they want.
Well, I was gonna say,
That's perfect.
I was gonna say, well, the true enemy is out there while you guys are fucking just causing trouble. Destroying the actual infrastructure of what you guys are trying to accomplish would seem to be the actual goal, but that's not what's getting done.
Well, it's the same pattern, just like he has in his video. It's a battle between, like you say, it's like say a nationalist and the communist, and so each one's thinking, because they're both far too authoritarian, that they're the thugs in charge. So then that group of thugs fights the other group of thugs, right, to see who's in charge, and then one wins. But it's bad news
the
for
rest
all
of
the
them
regular
join.
people because the rest of them join up, and then you really have a problem because now you got a bunch of true psychos, beating up on the rest of the population.
Yeah.
And it really gets crazy. So either way, I mean, it's. But for right now, you don't see. I mean, that nationalist side isn't even really activated yet. You've got these people that Antifa, more or less communist. They're activated and doing their plan. They're looking to thug you into submission.
Well, they went after our
And
boy. They went after our boy Peter. Mike Bluehair at that shit. Remember?
yeah,
They were going after
no,
Mike.
it's right. Well, see, he's just an anarchist. See, unless you join up and do what they say, there's going to be a problem. It doesn't matter. You can be like, as close as he is. I mean, because he's not totally against necessarily what they're doing, but it's like, hey, you either join up with us or else. And it's like, well, hey, I'm not really on the same page. Well, then you're the enemy. You have to join up and
Yep.
do what they're saying, or else. That's
Or
the
else
deal.
they give you a comment like this guy here did on that video you seen. Says, do not fall for this brainwashing propaganda. It's a PSYOP, FBI, CIA, KKK, neo-Nazi propaganda. This hive is just a front for criminal mafia enlist religious fanatics who sacrifice misguided humanity for their own tyrannical agendas. They are Nazi fascists and oppressors of freedom, loving humanity. The anarcho-communist People's Party of planet Earth strongly condemns a non-hive as nothing more than a relocation of efforts to impede the progress of equality and human rights for the working class laborers and minorities. They are hypocrites and tools for the degenerate, evil, rotten, enlist oppressors of citizens who truly are working for a better life for the masses of freedom-loving humanity. Tell them now that they will fail. Victory to the anarcho-communist People's Party of the planet Earth.
Was that in relation to your
that was a comment under the video I made.
Good words, comrade.
Yeah.
Good words.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of rage.
A little bit.
Yeah, go back to
Well,
your mommy.
I mean-
Go back to your mommy. You're probably 14.
He did a lot of that in cap locks too. So
Exactly,
I said,
yeah.
Down the road, not across the street.
I
Cap
just can't
locks.
believe, I mean, having grown up in the anti-communist era, when you just didn't hear about, communists, like, hey, they were out there, but that was like super fringe. It was just like, that's no way to be. And to have it, and to see it coming almost first full circle now, where it's just like these people are out there, and it's like they really are buying into this shit. It's like, oh man.
Well, I actually
can't believe
I
I'm
actually
seeing-
knew an Antifa member. Oh God, 2 years ago, he actually knew what it was all about, and he claimed he was a communist.
Well, there are some that are serious. I mean, they have their beliefs. And it's like, well, okay, but.
Yeah. I'm not going to put him out there in the spotlight, but yeah,
They have a right to be communists. They have a right to be.
Some of them do know.
But
Some of them do know, but this guy knew his shit. He was a pretty smart kid.
it's when you try to force other people with your political agenda. That's where I have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Convince me. Go ahead, convince me, but don't try to force me. Don't try to beat my ass if I say
Right.
no, I don't agree. That's where they're screwing up.
Right. They think that they're the bosses, and that they can muscle their way in, thug it all the way to the top.
Well, they should start thugging the right people, the right institutions, instead of the fucking citizens. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but like people are saying, is that this is part of might even be a bigger part of plan with George Soros.
That's their plans. Okay, they're sticking with it, but yeah, the point where they go over the line is when they try to implement it physically, abusing every other law that are out there. I mean, look at the guys. What is the overall guising statement is? I have a disagreement about your belief, therefore I can promote violence against you. That's their basic premise.
Yeah.
Well, then they should expect the same. I mean, because that's what's going to happen. And if you keep pushing that angle, so I mean, so
if
once
they
you're
bring
at that
guns
point,
into it, that's going to be
well.
awful.
That is the next phase. That's what I've been hearing is that they're getting armed.
I don't think I ain't going to say nothing because I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, it's the way they're doing it, right? I mean, it's not.
Well, sooner or later they'll turn into
it's not any democratic process. It's not going through an elected process.
It'll turn into another Black Panther issue.
You just
You know?
You're just gonna, in a revolutionary way, just do it because the ends justifies the means, and so whatever you do is okay. Uh, and I mean, that's not flying. I mean, that's why people are getting activated and gave you those 2 beatdowns in Berkeley and then some, but they don't get it. It's not about. It's like you just keep going, you keep pushing. It'd be the same thing
You think
for
you
like.
think it's all staged? You think all that? You think the whole shit with Antifa is just staged? The whole Berkeley and everything. And I'm not saying that fights and stuff didn't happen, but I mean, just some of the
Do you think?
characters that come out of it. Like,
Do you think the underlying guys who planned a lot of it? Yeah, yeah, it could
Sure.
be.
I mean, Kyle
Yeah.
But
Chapman and
yeah,
the stick
staged.
man
No,
thing. It's
no.
kind of like what?
Well, that's ridiculous. It's like that. Those are like sideshows. Honestly, in
I mean,
narcissistic sideshows, it's like, hey, I'm based stickman. It's like, what? You can't use your real fucking name? You know?
And he hit a guy with his. Who's the guy he hit with his stick? I want to talk to him. You don't ever hear from that guy.
Man, if we started going after Antifa accounts online, ooh boy.
Well, it's the same thing. The deal in America is we all live together with our different beliefs while respecting each other. That would be the basic way that it's supposed to work. So anytime somebody else is coming in, whether you're Antifa or the Muslims, you think you're going to invoke Sharia law or some bullshit like that, hey, there's going to be problems. That is not the law of the land. You're trying to institute another system. I mean, good luck. It ain't going to happen. Not unless our cowardly leaders, mostly known as Republicans and Democrats, let the drawbridge down and let them in. Then the traitors and cowards, will probably get it accomplished. But it's not supposed to work that way.
So when did it all go wrong? When was it? 9/11?
Oh, wait,
1871.
I was gonna say before then, way before then.
The United States Corporation, 1871. That's a big one.
When we knew we were 10 years after the creation of our country, we knew that we were financially bankrupt, and we started implementing the world banks into the United States.
Yeah, there were some. Yeah, there was big fights in the initial efforts to have like a Bank of the United States.
Yep.
It's all because that always goes wrong. Yeah. Which it has.
It was like 10 years after the creation of our country, we were financially fucked.
They were pushing early. And
Let's
that
say
whole
we have
thing
a
of being
fight.
bankrupt, it's like you can always refinance a country's debt, just like you go through a bankruptcy and you refinance your own debt. It's just all this baloney about, well, you know what, we had to take rights away and sign a bunch of stuff over to our private interest, to bail you out. It's just like, no, I don't think so. It's like you stole all that money anyway. I don't think you need to be getting anything. But they're brazen criminals.
What about
They
a Fight
write
Club kind of revolution?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
in the movie,
they
right?
just write this stuff in with a stroke of the pen, and all the slaves just go, "Yes, sir, Mr. Rockefeller," and there you go. It's like, I mean, we make it real easy for them.
Somebody said, "Let's rob the Federal Reserve." Then what?
They don't have any money.
I was gonna say,
They have a negative balance sheet right now that they can't seem to unwind.
Yeah, I would say I don't know what would happen to that if we did that.
That belongs to a country that's not even in the United States. Not even part
That's
of the
right.
United States.
All we have to do is walk away and tell them to go fuck themselves, and they'd be
How do we go
screwed.
about doing that? I mean,
that'd be that's not an easy answer, but it can be done. But that would have to be
honestly, it would take the
Sovereign
military.
citizenship, you could do
wait.
it, but
Who's it? Iceland? Didn't they do it?
Yes, Iceland had a
Yeah,
revolution in
that's right.
2008 and in 2012, I
They threw
believe.
the bankers in jail.
Yeah.
Rather than listen to
Yeah.
their bullshit, they threw them in jail, and guess what? It worked.
Well, their economy
You
is
know,
doing
but
300% better now that they
yeah,
did it, and they also forgave all of the people that were back on their housing loans and forgave the debt, and their economy is doing much better.
yeah, that's the way it's supposed to work. But no, not here. Why is that? Because we're so corrupt.
Maybe we need to talk to some people from Iceland on how they did it, and then start trying to pull the same.
Well, I guess
You
legally,
throw them in jail. It's really easy. They got the police. I
well,
mean,
legally,
yeah.
I think their constitution, I think they can legally do that. In essence,
Oh, you
we could
could
do the
do it.
same thing. We could do the
You
same
could
thing as
do it
well.
here. It's no different. We're just too craven and
NFL
despotic
watching.
now to give a shit. Really,
Well, the average
you know, it's
intelligence of
just
a lot of the majority of U.S. citizens is not up there.
that's right.
Yeah.
They're I don't know what they're doing. I mean,
Watching football.
I
Not watching football, doing something else.
Waiting around for a new phone of the phone they already have.
Watching Jerry Springer playing fucking video games. You
I
know.
even play video games now.
I was about to say, don't attack video games. People, I don't play them, but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people do.
Well,
Yeah.
they're not. They're what they're not tuned in is to politics and how they're getting screwed on a daily basis. That's what they're not tuned into. They don't seem to realize the news they're seeing on TV is 90% bullshit, and yet they just regurgitate it like, "Oh, well, I heard it on the news." Like, well, hey, haven't you got the word? That's all. That's all propaganda, man. You know, they don't seem to get that. Yeah, you know, I guess, hey, if you get dumbed down far enough and you just don't get it, you know, there's no saving you.
I think it might
You know,
be people that are older and further along in their life. They get to a point to where they just don't care because they're pretty much done. But as you start getting into people in the 30s, 40s, I think that might be where the people that want to change things. They want to make a difference. And then you got people in your 20s, and they want to change things, but they don't know how to change it. They're
Exactly.
too busy.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they
they're
need to
angry.
listen to us, but they won't listen to us because they think we don't know. They think we fucked it up. When it wasn't us, it was the generation before us that fucked it up.
Yeah, they don't respect their elders either. Most, you know,
Oh
most
hell
of
no! Oh,
the younger kids nowadays, that's their first mistake.
uh,
Lack of discipline, lack of a work ethic,
I used to
lack
hear
of
this when I was a
moralities.
teenager.
I don't know. I guess it's a life. One of these life questions. I guess you don't get it until you've been
You don't
through
get
it.
it till it happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
until it happens. This is basic. Human experience. It's part of the journey, I guess. This disconnect can't keep on going on forever.
We
Well, they
all
don't
go
know the
through the
history
same.
either.
It's true.
Okay. We all
do
go
we
through the
know
same
our
shit.
history?
No, not
Do we
all of
know it
us.
for
Well,
real? I
I mean,
mean,
I'm
Well,
better at it, but I mean,
I'm more informed than
it's
the
just
average Joe.
but do we know what is real? I mean, do we know if we've been told the truth about anything? I mean, everything. In my opinion, everything's bullshit.
Well, whoever
And until I can prove it, then it's bullshit. I mean, I just don't know.
well,
well
well,
he
that's right. That's just like this lone gunman story. You know, it's just like that's where you start. It's just like, hey, wait a minute, things aren't adding up, right? You know, you got too many cameras and everything now. You know, you can tell. You know, like intrinsically that that story is not adding up. Let's just say you're. You know, let's start with the government approved official story as of today. You know, that's not really adding up.
I have lots of nudes. They can have them all. Who said that? George. Sorry. But yeah, history is always going to be, history is always going to be, flawed. They always say, he who wins the war writes the history books.
History is written by the winners.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you have to look through the lens on that one too, which isn't all that hard because you will know the sides that were pitted at each other, and of course, the one side's going to have that,
Well,
like the
what do you think?
winner's viewpoint, but at the same time, it's like, okay,
Well,
what was
here's one
really
for
going
you.
if you
If
dig
history
into
was
it.
written by the winners, what does that mean? That Hitler was? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, that yeah, I got you. You got me there.
Yeah, he was a winner for sure. Special heathen.
But I mean, there's some people that argue that.
Well, there was even, that story, that I keep on pushing, is that Hitler wasn't killed in that bunker. He actually survived in
Argentina.
Argentina, and a lot of people don't buy that shit. But there was, the FBI were looking for him for fucking like 2 decades afterward. They were not, and they even did an autopsy on the 2 skulls that were there. They were both female.
Yeah, Operation Myth. Isn't that what that is? Operation Myth.
There was there was an ex-CIA guy, and I believe it was a special forces guy. They were following up on it, and they found what in Argentina was going to be a sleeper cell in a German community in Argentina, and there was a lot of evidence that he might have gone there. They never actually like linked it to him, but there was definitely sleeper cells in Argentina.
There's a classic photo of a U-boat pulling up to a dock down there, and they were all Highland Hitler to somebody on that sub.
Oh, the Führer is here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't just do that for anybody, right?
Well,
Hitler had
it makes a lot more sense, that
Then he got killed in a bunker.
Does it?
Yeah, with bones that don't match up. Well, see, that story is just blown out right there. Well, you don't even.
You got to think of how powerful he was to not try to escape. I mean, come on. Yeah, submarine. I mean, he had all kinds of shit. He could have just. I don't know. Who knows? Like I said.
Well, that photo that looks up that guy, that it was done with some South American girl with a guy that looks kind of like Hitler,
Oh, the guy that claimed to be Hitler and was admitted to it, and
I don't know if there's any admittance to it, but
no, he actually he said he told people that he was Hitler, and his wife said he was suffered from some kind of mental problems or whatever, but he had a lot of evidence that kind of suggested he might be. But
well, I mean, if you know anything about Hitler, he was using a lot of drugs for a long time. He could have had a lot of mental problems from the drugs. He was using daily methamphetamine and dolophine.
Yeah, he's blasted. Doesn't mean he didn't get away, but the official. See, the problem is the official story, right? Go back to how we started here, because the evidence they have doesn't add up to what they've told you.
Well, the FBI
how many decades
after that
before
FOIA request, there's a lot of evidence saying that the FBI was looking around for him for 20 years.
Yeah, because they probably knew, between back channels, it's like, hey, we got this official story doesn't add up. We got these bones, and they knew that all way back then, man. They just hid it for all that time, because here's the problem: you couldn't have a world war where we went into a world war with somebody and won and can't find the leader. Okay, big problem.
Okay, so then you get 2 bodies and you say, hey, there's Hitler.
Yeah, so you had to come up with a story, right? What if they went in there and it's like, fuck, he ain't here.
Just say that he's there.
You caved everything
Well,
into this
remember
point
the
and
fall.
the bunker, and he's not there.
Remember the fall of the Berlin Wall was actually done with the original statement when said that something about the government is no longer legitimate was actually a fuck up in the words which caused the whole. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I know President Kennedy talked about the Berlin, and he said he was a jelly donut, but I mean, others say he said he was a Berliner, but the translation actually he said he was a jelly donut.
is Sweden? Snowden. Snowden's still in Russia. He ain't
Oh
going.
man, yeah, WikiLeaks kicked out something this week tying Zuckerberg to John Podesta, who was Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman,
Yeah, that's
and these ads.
yeah.
They got the dirt on old Zucky.
And then Zucky said that he wanted everybody to forgive him for his ways after Yom Kippur.
Sorry, buddy, don't work that way. You're scum. You know, you are who you are, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay.
Oh, did
Sorry,
you see
man.
the post about him that said he was related to Rockefeller?
What?
It could
You
be.
didn't see that post? He
No.
was related to Rockefeller. They got a picture of him where he got arrested or some shit, or a picture of somebody that looks like him that got arrested, and his name was shit. Hold on, let me find it. Zuckerberg
Well,
wasn't his
that's
real name.
We couldn't beat up Facebook tonight again.
I was gonna say, yeah. Whatever you did, Zuckerberg,
I
you're
would,
already on the downhill slope. We're only on this platform because we can be.
Oh, David Rockefeller's grandson.
Maybe. I don't know.
that should be
I
easy
doubt
enough
it.
to chase down if you do the
I doubt it. Well, they got.
ancestry, but
If you trust Snoops, I don't trust them, but
oh shit, no,
Yeah,
no, hell no. That's a joke. That's a bad
they've
joke.
already filed for bankruptcy. Been caught. One was a fake detective. One used to be a prostitute. Wow, yeah, they're as legit as baked potatoes turned into biscuits.
And these places still use them as a fake news fact checking forum.
They
I mean, that's what's it. Well, I mean, you got to be a power lib to go down that. Whew,
I'm surprised that
yeah,
that whole fake news thing shit hasn't fallen out of the media. I think it's because Trump keeps on talking about it. Everybody's fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. NBC, CBS, fake news.
well, they say it.
CNN.
I
I
think
saw a
that's
New
funny
York
as
Times
hell.
article saying that New York Times article saying that 4chan was fake news.
It's 4chan is a oh my god. It isn't a news site.
Yeah, I mean, if you have time, if you're a big time, I mean, if you're allegedly big time, the toilet paper of record, New York
It's a
Times. Why
posting
are you
board.
worried about 4chan? Why would you even run a story like that?
Because
It's
that's
just
where
like,
we're from.
yeah, it's all about putting out a a narrative, man, and
Well,
pushing an agenda.
I think they're threatened by sites like 4chan because people can go there and leak information.
Well, there has been a lot of
Exactly.
leaks that have gone on
Yeah,
to 4chan.
So their response has got to be to discredit it, so no one will believe it.
this is a good place.
Which
4chan is a
which
good place to find a serial killer.
which only backfires on it would work, except that 95% of the people don't believe you, and that's when it backfires because they go, oh well, yeah, look what you guys are putting out. I mean, nobody believes you, right? And now you're putting that out, so we know that you were the fake news. New York Times, why do you keep putting shit like that out? Why not just let the news be what it is instead of trying to create a narrative all the time and give us some kind of opinionated news analysis bullshit that nobody believes? You don't even see it in your own demographics, in your own breakdowns. Can't you do a white paper internally at the New York Times and tell you where you're fucking up?
Yeah.
What's
Well,
so hard about that? But you don't even do that. No, it's just about we're good progressive liberals, actually regressive liberals, and we're pushing a narrative. We don't care if it bankrupts this company. That's where they're coming from. We're going to push fake news and also the crap out until it just kills us, which can't happen soon enough. It's a
I
shame too
figured
because they got more awards than a lot of places, and that's fine. They do some good work in between their liberal crap. They do some good work.
I think after them trying to dox a 13-year-old or however old he was, for releasing an animated GIF. I think that was their big downfall. I think after that they
I didn't hear about this.
What?
No.
You didn't hear
joshed
about
my
that?
memory on that one. Yeah.
About how CNN all right, remember the Donald Trump wrestling meme that come out? Where it shows Donald Trump like wrestling and it was when he did a wrestling thing for the WWF.
Oh,
Well, they
yeah,
took
yeah.
CNN, the CNN logo, and stuck it on that wrestler's face. So Trump's just beating the CNN logo. Well, CNN goes and tries to hunt down who released the GIF, and they supposedly found the person that did it. And I think his name he went by the name of Han Ass Solo or something, and they threatened him and said that if he didn't apologize for that GIF, and they were going to release all his information on the internet. And he ended up apologizing. But then that's when all the CNN memes came out because everybody was like, "Oh yeah, really?" Huh? So that kind of blew up in
You
their
can trust
face.
CNN when the reporters are telling people. I remember they were telling people that looking at anything at Wikileaks is illegal. I
Yeah.
remember that. That was.
Oh man, that's how screwed up these people are. They honestly believe that shit and tell it to you. They really do. They believe that
Remember when they were saying that Alex
they're your
Jones?
minder. You
Remember
know,
when they
they
were.
tell you what to do,
They
what to
had
think.
that. They pissed off Alex Jones and told everybody that he was the head of the KKK. It was, and they said it was a typo on the thing on the bottom.
Oh.
A typo, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember seeing Alex getting pissed. He was in cocaine mode. It's like,
Oh yeah, he gets stoked. You get him like that, man.
Yeah, he was going live on
Yeah.
his face
Well,
on his he was going live on Facebook and all that shit on his page or whatever. You can't believe this shit. Oh yeah.
Well, that's all an
well,
act anyway, so it really don't matter.
I'm not sure if Alex is like all there. You know, to be honest with you, like,
It's an
Yeah, Alec
act.
Baldwin.
He admitted it. It's all an act.
yeah,
yeah, he's got a problem there, right? I mean, it's like, okay, that's the official court of record that that's what you said. So
Yeah.
now, but then we're supposed to forget that this is, this cognitive dissonance thing he always talks about. So now we're supposed to forget that and then go back to watching him and believing everything that he says. It's like, well,
Buying his
wait a minute,
products and
yeah, I mean, you just can't do that and have credibility. I don't know if he really thought that through before he did that, but
well, the one good thing about it is he put his kids first. I guess you could say he put his kids first. You know, he was willing to sacrifice credibility to get his keep his kids or whatever. So I mean, either way, it
well,
just shows you really can't trust anybody. Anybody is weak to money and power, and so.
I have a feeling that Alex can say anything and then the story does not add up and people will still listen to him.
Oh yeah, he's got a big enough following now to where
Yeah. I listen to him just for entertainment. Sometimes I will laugh hysterically at some of the fucking weird shit that he says. Like man, it's like listening to a madman on the air. Like,
yeah, so it's funny, the rants and all. I mean, because that's from the heart. But you cannot line up with a Republican politician and be promoting him and get him into office and
well,
all
did you
these
see
other
when
things,
he was making fun
and
of
then
Kim Jong
claim,
Un?
yeah, and then claim to be non-biased.
He's the one that come up with the
That's
whole
not going to.
left-right paradigm thing, and then he goes right. I mean, it just
Well, it's just like, hey, be honest about what you're doing, because that's not being non-biased. You can't. There's no way to spin that to make it sound right, because we all know what it's about. It's about a matter of convenience, right? It's like, hey, I had a chance to jump in here and do this and be a big time promoter slash, like Roger Stone, and get in the club that way. Well, that means you just abandon everything you've done before.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say,
That's what you've been railing against for 20 years.
and then you
But all
joined.
of a sudden now it's okay because you're doing it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna
Right.
say, at one point he stood for something, and now it's just flip floppy. You know.
Yeah. It weakens any argument. So, but hey, if that's what if it's just a matter of convenience and you did it for your business and all that, I mean, I get it, but I mean, it just drops your credibility. So
And 10 years
that's
down the
his.
10 years down the road, Alex is talking about UFOs. I could really see that
Well,
one coming.
I mean,
hey, my thing.
you would think that most people would have stopped listening to him after the whole 2000 thing with the whole Y2K thing.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
Wasn't he
Where
saying that it
he,
was the end of the world and everything was
yeah,
gonna fucking fall
there's
Oh
apart?
my
nuclear
God.
reactors going down here and there, and then nothing happened, and
Oh,
I don't know, he looked kind of like an
I
ass.
remember I actually had a 386. I still had one somewhere, and the computer still worked. As the dates were, it said 1960, 70, or whatever the fuck it said. Things were still working, man. Kind of blew that one out of proportion.
He claims it was the sponsors or something that kind of pushed him to that or something. Yeah, okay, man.
Well, yeah, well, whatever. But you did it. That's the problem. You did
Exactly.
it. So own up to it and quit being quit being stupid.
That's why you can't trust any media. Any media. I don't care who it is. You just can't trust them.
Yeah, you got to cross check and
But
triple
then,
check,
how do you
then
know
keep
what you're
going.
cross-checking is even correct? I mean, the
Well,
truth is
you always have
buried.
some. Yeah, you always have Trump's truth to work with. It's like this Las Vegas thing. I mean, there's all these videos. You can look at all those and come up with an opinion that and a story that you know is easily counters what you're hearing from the government. That's the problem. And as long as you take the bits of data and stream video streams and everything and use it in a logical manner, I mean, you'll get pretty close to the truth. Okay, so you don't know everything, but you don't need to know everything to get the general gist of what's going on.
With all the fake stories that are coming out about anything, I mean,
Yeah,
there's going to be.
you got
You
to
know how they
dig.
say there's a little bit of truth in everything. A little bit of truth. So I mean, you have to sift through the truth, but it's hard to tell what is the truth. I mean,
It's
video,
kind
they
of
can fake video. I mean, they can fake audio.
yeah,
I mean, they can
yeah.
fake everything now. It's scary.
Yeah, except at a big event like this, there's so many cameras and cell phones and everything. There's no
That's
way.
another thing that gets me. Where's all the people that were? I know that you're scared, you're running, but don't you? I don't know. You think that there's people filming right then and there, and shit starts, and there's only like what 2 videos.
Oh no, there's quite a few more. I've run. Well, they may be because they're scrubbing them off Facebook. It's getting harder and harder to share them.
Really?
Yeah.
The ones that are really that's happening. They're
Huh.
scrubbing anything that has anything to do with multiple shooters because that's against the narrative.
Sounds like I need to make a multiple shooter video.
Wow.
I heard something about like some of these people, the witnesses and all. They're coming in with crews and FBI and whatnot. Saying, well, are you really sure that's what you saw? And all, throwing that doubt in there.
Wow.
Doing it's just
Security
like, okay,
assassination all over again.
yeah, it's like so they're all being, and which spooks them. They're already, you know, uh, what do you call it? Wounded in
Recant
some
their
way, and already kind of mentally challenged because they're wounded or whatever. So it's like you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to get into it with the FBI when you're already shot up or whatever. So yeah, they're gonna, and what's the idea? To keep them quiet because
Yep.
we have a narrative here to keep pushing about this lone 64-year-old gunman who did all this. And you're supposed to believe that shit.
I think we need to keep an eye on some of the witnesses because, in case they start having accidents.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did with the Kennedy
suicide.
assassination. They started disappearing people. Oh, accident. Oh, he got hit by a bus.
Well, this guy committed
Shot.
suicide. He was shot 2 times in the head, right?
Yeah, with a shotgun.
That's twisted.
I was like, I mean, is there anybody here that believes that Kennedy was killed by Oswald? I mean, just
I think his
curious.
wife shot him.
No.
She was sitting right there with him.
Yeah, never mind those people who were pointing at the grassy knoll. Forget them. Forget those shots they heard from the, because that didn't happen.
Forget the fact that George Bush was standing out front of the book depository.
That's right.
That's
Yes.
Photoshop. Come on, that's Photoshop.
Is that photo? No, that ain't Photoshop. No, actually, I heard somewhere that it was actually somebody, a totally different person or something. But it looked pretty
Nope.
freaking close to me, and he's got enough connections to where.
Even Richard Nixon, he was the lawyer that was the cover lawyer for the assassination group that pulled that off. Everybody got rewarded well that was involved in this. Remember, there was a reason this happened. Somebody needed to be rewarded who didn't like where all this was going, so we just had to kill him. Yeah, he's the president of the United States, but deep state operations dictate.
You got to think everybody benefited from that. You had Johnson, who he became president because of it. Of course, he's not going to say shit.
Nixon, Bush, yeah. Look at the timeline after that. Boy, that took you 30 years out. Plus, just from there.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can think Clintons. They worked with Bush. They running drugs, and so to cut them in on it.
Yeah, and let's see what. George W. Well, H.W. was president until 92, so 63 to 92.
And Obama, hell, he was pretty much, I would say, hired by the Clintons to be president.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a placeholder that they needed to do their operations. It was great cover for their criminal operation and for the foundation.
Hey, me.
Did you ever hear that video about Kathy O'Brien talking about she overheard George Bush and Bill Clinton talking about that they needed Bill Clinton to they were going to make him president, and this is like in '84.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard that.
I think it's on that a video I made, but basically talking about he was going to be president and preordained. Because when the American people start losing faith in the Republicans to lead them, that they would go with a Democrat in office. That way, that they can help that further the agenda of a new world order. And this is what she overheard both of them talking about.
That is the plan. Well, Trump has proven that as well.
It was in the Antifa video I made, that one you've seen, yeah.
Is Trump a CFR member?
No, I don't think so.
Probably.
He's not supposed to be in any secret societies, but that we know of.
Yeah, he'd be in the secret society of idiots.
Yeah, you have to remember though how close he was to the Clintons for a long time, and then all of a sudden now he's a Republican. Really? And everybody goes, "Yay, Donald Trump!" What it's like this new thing. This is like, and everybody forgets that for some reason. There's all these pictures out there of him chumming up with them and doing business with them and flying with them. So,
I mean, Ivanka is friends with Chelsea. I mean, have baby showers and go to weddings, and they're all buddy, and I mean, come
Yeah.
on, they're friends. Trump is just a plant they put in because they knew that no one's going to buy putting this person in again. And I mean, we've had the Clintons and the
And
Bushes, and then Obama. I mean, come on.
yeah, and then what does Ivanka do first thing? It's like you sell weapons to Saudi Arabia. She gets $100 million donation to her charity. Well, you're Hillary Clinton mini mo, right? Or mini
Yeah.
me. You know, you learned well.
I
And you
mean,
got
these rich cocksuckers
Jared.
have found out how to manipulate the system, and they're doing it.
And
We're too
Oh yeah,
dumb. I mean,
they've been
and
doing
they
it.
yeah they do it right in front of your face, and nobody seems to care or do anything about it. It's
because
just
they
like,
have
yeah,
the
we're gonna rub it in your face, and yeah, that's it. You can't do anything about it. Yeah, they're gonna get away with it. Nobody's gonna get in trouble.
because the media just blacks it out.
And then you have Jared Kushner, who is the nephew of George Soros, right? He's in the mix, very close. It's all one
There's
big
a lot of
happy
Nazi
family.
communist, a lot of Nazi communist connections with all of them. All of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Where were we at? Let me You got
Oh,
any more comments? What else is going on?
um,
Oh man, this is the one I wanted to get to last time. Was that SS7 level hack of the German banks?
oh yeah, that SS7 hack has been out for a while, but I wasn't, well that I think that article was from the hack read in May, but yeah, SS7 attacks has been around for a while, but yeah, because of that whole hack with the bank, they're gonna have to rethink two-factor authentication.
Yeah, apparently they got away with quite a bit of money too. I mean,
Uh,
there was a theft involved in that one.
I haven't
So
heard about this. What
I was on the
I
what was
hack.
it?
It was on the
don't.
hack. It was on the hack read from
Okay,
maybe May about SS7 attack used on yeah, German bank.
successful.
So now they have to rethink two-factor authentication, and even using SS7 protocol. You know.
I mean, everything can be hacked. They're never going to find a complete non.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, exactly. If it can be made, it can be broken.
uh, yeah, I think anything connected on a wire. Yeah,
Hey,
even.
wait. Someone made something recently that they even had a contest. If you could hack it, then they'd give you so much money or something. I
Oh, they
can't
have
think
they
of
have
what
they
it
have they
was.
have they have a bunch of sites. They have they try to find flaws and bugs in code. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, but this
Well,
was
they did the
something.
voting. They did the voting machines at DEF CON.
I wasn't
That
aware of
they
that.
yeah, they got through pretty quick. There were several groups. The longest I think was like 2 minutes. Some were 30 seconds. It's like, I mean, they weren't really finding any.
I think they were. I think one of the simplest ones
It was
was.
pretty
I
easy.
think one of them had like a USB port, and one of them just jammed some shit in it. Am I correct about that one?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know that they at the time said how they did it, because it was just like, whoa, these guys just made that look really easy, and so they kind of snuffed it out, because it's like, yeah, I mean, if too many people figure that one out, they're going to know that every vote doesn't count. Mickey Mouse wins the election. What? He wasn't on the. How'd you cut? Where the fuck that come from?
Gary Coleman.
Yeah, he wins by 1-0 when everybody voted.
Gary Coleman won the election.
Oh, right, Gary. Well, who? What? So yeah, I wouldn't believe
I'd
any
vote
of
for
it.
him before I voted for Hillary, though.
Yeah, Jezebel just had to go, man. There's just no way. that we can stoop to that level of evil. I mean, if we do, I mean, we're just totally gone, man. I mean, and look, I mean, we almost are because she almost got elected. So that's what gets me is it's like this Democratic Party threw up a total criminal for a candidate, and she almost got in. That's what blows me away.
She was bad
It was
news.
just way too
She's been
close.
bad news, man.
I mean,
I mean,
Not only that, she's
so
mentally
yeah, it's
unstable, dude. Like I heard it from the Secret Service, like about how she acts around people. Is she not a good person?
no.
well, I don't think Trump is either. I think he's
Neither
an
do I. Yeah,
asshole.
yeah. I think Trump is like honestly mentally retarded. Like, like the intelligence level is not there. You know, I just don't think.
See, people act like he's got all the power. It ain't him. He's pretty much a figurehead. He's just there to, talk to people, and that's he doesn't do it well, but I mean, that's his
Well,
job.
yeah, if you went by the old Constitution, he was only the commander in chief of the military in a time of war. Otherwise, he's doing foreign deals, representing the government on,
Do you hear about the shit
But I
with
mean,
him and
really, he really
Tillerman?
is doesn't have any power.
You
I
hear
mean,
about the shit with Tillerman and the president? They say that there's nothing going on.
Oh, he called him a moron.
Well, okay, the Tillerman, he says there's nothing going on, but when he was out there trying to talk peace with North Korea, Trump tweets that he basically undermines what he was doing out there and said it was a waste of time. And a lot of people in the State Department aren't happy with what he's doing because he's firing everybody. You know,
He thinks he's on his show again. That's what it is. You're fired.
who's saying this?
the Secretary of the State.
Oh, well, hey, look, man. Well, see, part of the problem is the CEOs. I mean, he was CEO of Exxon. You get to be used to being a dictatorial executive. I mean, that's what you do. You make decisions all day long, right? Okay, but now you're in a group. You're in the government now, and you can't act like that when you have a boss.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get in line. Even if you don't like it. Hey, look, you took this job,
Well, people are saying
so
that he's going to get the boot by December. So.
well, then he deserves it. Yeah, get him out of there. Because if you can't do it, you can't do it, man. If you don't want to do it, then go somewhere else. It's like any job, right? Any job. I would. You know what I would tell him? Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Because that's what I always heard. Anytime you want to leave or you don't like it here, don't let the door hit your ass. Okay. So I would tell him the same thing. I understand how you corporate people think. It's no problem. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
But the thing
Okay.
that I don't
Nothing
understand is
personal.
how he's out there in China, while Trump is telling them to do something else. Like this is like a personal vendetta. Like I don't know. I've never seen that actually go on.
Huh.
They probably are
I
calling
think
each other names behind the vaccines.
it's just a
Well,
sideshow to distract people. Little sideshow.
it may be,
The
but
fact that
I
he had to
mean,
make it,
there seems.
the fact that he had to make a statement means there's something really, really, to me, says really what's going on.
See, these guys have loyalty issues. They demand total loyalty from the people under them. But you notice they have no loyalty for the guy they work for, Trump, right? They're not playing the game right. So, of
Oh,
course, Trump's going to get rid of him. He understands the corporate. It's just like, hey, look, if you can't be loyal and do what's going on here, then you're going to be leaving. Whether you leave or I get rid of you, you're going to be leaving.
well, he doesn't have
And
it.
that's
That guy,
exactly what should
he
happen.
doesn't have any loyalty to the people around him. I guess he's just firing everybody, saying they're
Yeah,
not doing anything, which is true. I mean,
yeah,
that's half of
that's no
people
problem.
that's half of people with government jobs that ain't doing nothing.
Right, and he's pretty much stopped doing anything. I mean, he should be getting rid of the EPA, the Department of Education, shutting down the Fed, the IRS. We've got a lot of work to do here, and he's not doing anything.
Exactly.
The Republicans aren't doing anything. This is all a big joke. We're all having a pissing match over a missile that flies over Japan, and doing all this saber. I mean, what a joke, man, when there's serious things to do. You got more Goldman Sachs people and CFR people than ever. It's like he's totally thrown out all the people that got him elected. Now, see, this is where Trump screws up because he's not loyal either. You throw out all the people who helped get you elected, and now you bring all these, New World Order scum in,
He
and of
brings in
course that's
Goldman
not
Sachs
working
and
either.
crew.
Yeah, they're all from Goldman Sachs bankers. After it's just like, yeah,
Everybody's saying that
something.
the New World Order, people in the New World Order, fear him, and I'm like, well, you just brought them in. You just brought them into places in power within the U.S.
I mean,
I don't
is
understand.
is Henry Kissinger still in there somewhere?
I believe so. Yeah, I mean he's kind of on the
I think
fringe,
he
but
gave
yeah.
Trump advice or some shit, and I mean that's someone right there that you
Well, that's what
major
Hillary says
scumbag.
too. She there's. Have you ever heard her statement? She takes marching orders from the CFR. That's where I get my instructions. That goes back a ways. Yeah,
Jesus
there's
Christ.
hugs. Hugs. What's his Kissinger? And you're like, oh right, really? Yeah, she. I
These
mean,
are
it
all
went
the
further
same
than that. It's
pricks
just
that have
like
been in power forever.
yeah, and it
Kissinger.
was a long statement. It's like all I have to do is walk down the street to the
That
CFR
was Hillary.
and get
Hillary was talking.
yeah,
Hillary
and get
said,
my
even Obama's like, yeah, but I go to the Council on Foreign Relations. I'd be like, yeah, that's an Illuminati Ponzi scheme. That's just a front, right?
who's on there? Aaron, what's her name from CNN? She's one of the big anchors now. She's CFR. Charlie Rose, CFR. A lot of media in it. The banking, of course. It's all part of the club, man. That you're not in.
While they beat us over the head with it. Yeah.
Who's
Yep.
a big guy that used to speak on the CFR? Was it Aaron? Aaron Russo used to speak on it. I think he was. Yeah. And then Alex
Oh,
Jones jumped on the bandwagon on that one after him. Telling people what the CFR was about.
oh man, I don't know if Russo was he really. Wow, Gergen. Gergen was the guy that AJ got into it with in one interview.
Yeah. Where he was like, "Oh, you don't talk about the Bohemian Grove. I go there. I've been going there. I'm respectable. Blah blah blah." Yeah.
Yeah. You notice it's like, yeah, where's the loyalty? It's like, hey, wait a minute. We swore you in as a government official, and yet your oath to the Bohemian Grove supersedes the one to this nation. Really? You really are a piece of scum, man. I mean, and they tell you that shit in front of the camera. It's all on film. It's like, oh well, you did this, disrespected that. Well, how about your oath? How about that? Does that mean
Man,
anything
I'll
to
tell you
you?
right now, the Bohemian Grove is like the key to just that should be what wakes everybody up right there. You see that? It's real. I mean, come on. No one can deny that. What the hell's the problem? Oh, they're just dressing up in Halloween costumes and it's July or whatever. I mean, that right there should tell you something's fucked up.
It's just a cremation of care ceremony. Don't get excited, man. You know what?
It's only a mock human
What?
sacrifice. We're not doing any Luciferian stuff here. I mean,
Yeah,
wait,
there's
don't look at that guy.
okay.
Don't look at that guy.
Yeah,
He's saying some weird
ignore that
shit.
40-foot owl.
Yeah.
It's not there. That's not there. Don't worry about it.
That's Woodsy. The Woodsy. Don't litter.
Alex Jones got that shit wrong. It actually is in Mogul. They think it's like either one of two deities. I think it's some African owl deity, or it might be Lilith. I think it might actually symbolize some god of wisdom or something, but it's not Molech. Molech is a bull.
No, Bullock's a
Alex,
bull. Yeah.
yeah, Alex Jones got that shit wrong.
So, from my perspective, it ain't God, it ain't Jesus, and it ain't the Holy Spirit. So I don't
Yeah.
know what the
Yeah.
hell it is, and I don't want to know.
It's
Anything called the
Woodsy.
cremation
It's
of care.
Woodsy.
It's like,
It's
yeah,
Archimedes and his owl. Right?
yeah. Well, what is that telling you? See, what are you doing? You're offering your care up as a burnt
Well,
offering
have you ever listened?
to your God, right? I mean, it's so, and
Have you ever listened to the actual wording of what is going on in there? So apparently, like I've listened to that video over and over and over again from Alex, and so essentially, what's going on there is a spirit, an evil spirit that's talking to them, and they're doing what they would call blessing spells or whatever the fuck they're doing, try and get this thing away, and then I guess it transforms the evil spirits into whatever this thing and gives them grand knowledge. It's definitely a cult like,
Occult, satanic.
Yeah, very, very. I would say so.
Well, but no one finds it weird. The public just
Well, the head
what
of
can we
the
do?
head of the IMF goes there. I one of these days I'm going to pull up that interview of one of the priests that was there. It's a little bizarre about his background. He talks about his depth into the satanic shit and how he got there. But out of all of the interviews I've heard from people who have worked at the Bohemian Grove, this one sounds the most legit.
Yeah, it's just Lucifer. Nothing to be seen here. Moving on.
Well, when I said priest, I didn't mean he was like some sort of godly priest. He said he was definitely a satanic priest. Yeah, like he wasn't hiding it. He wasn't definitely hiding about who he was or what he was doing. And he knew too much. Like he knew he was saying like these little stories during the interview about things that only somebody who would know who was there over the period. He said he was there for like got in between the mid '90s up into the 2000s. He was there.
I bet he's dead now, ain't he?
No, he's actually he left.
If he's selling books, he's full of shit.
No, he actually left to Canada for a little while, and then last I heard, he was living somewhere on the East Coast. So.
Yeah, you notice how they're a little more open. Well, a lot more open now about. They used to hide all this stuff. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't happening, and it's conspiracy theory or whatnot. And they could always, squelch it in the press. Now
And
it's just like
the press
yeah,
used to report on it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you caught us in a satanic ceremony, but so what? And you're like, oh, really? Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
guess Rusty Dot says the real Anonymous is gonna get these dudes. I've heard.
Huh?
I guess.
Is it a message, comment, or what?
Yeah.
He's
Well, I hope so.
gonna get them.
I guess us.
Oh,
I don't. When he says the real Anonymous, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
what's his name?
Rusty Dottie. I guess technically we don't even exist.
Oh, was he threatening us?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. I'm kind of dyslexic. Let me see. Real Anonymous is gonna get these dudes. I've heard.
Oh, he's probably talking. What are you saying? We're fake?
I guess so.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Well,
Then who am I?
I was gonna say, a lot of people have this. We talked about this, God, over a period of like 20 shows. The misconceptions about Anonymous. Just like George Stuber said, Anonymous is an idea. We are not official. There is no official site. There is no real core Anon group. Was there an original core group at the beginning? Yes, with Rusty Warbles and all that shit in the mid 2000s. Of course there was. But when you say who is a real or the real Anon, or no, these dudes as in, oh, I got you. No, dudes as in government shit and shit. I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Yeah.
My bad.
My bad. Yeah, we got you. But no, like that was a common misconception about what Anonymous is and isn't. So like when you see an official Anon page such as the non-official, and there are other groups out there.
Non-HQ.
Non-HQ. Stay away from them.
Anything that sells shirts and masks.
And to anybody out there, if you guys want the personal address of the co-creator of a non-official, I fucking got it, because there seems to be a little Anon war going on between a non-HQ and a non-official, and one docks the other one, and we found out it was some fat guy living in Vancouver. And I'm pretty sure it was over money. But yeah, when you see any official anon, it's an idea, and anybody can claim anon. The old thing, the only controversy that I get into is over the whole old fag versus new fag versus creed versus this and that. I mean, once you start getting into that shit, I have my views and I just keep them out of the show.
Did you happen to catch the video I made on the moral code and creed?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you got to check it out. It's pretty good.
But
I think it puts everything in perspective.
I would probably lean more towards old fag. Rough them, fuck them up. Don't give a shit. Yeah.
I don't believe in selling anything anon. That's just no fame, no popularity. We don't look for that shit. We
Well,
we
in
don't.
in some
There's no
aspects,
head. There's
we do. As far as how to get the message out there, in back end on pages, that kind of stuff goes around as far as popularity and trying to get the message out. But as far as a fame contest, I don't see too much of that going on my people that I know. You know.
same on my end. I mean, it's the main thing I see as being an issue is what is it? The politics. Here lately, that's kind of hard to not participate, not taking side in politics. See a lot of anons. You can tell they are taking part in politics, as in choosing side, Democrat, Republican.
Oh, like Rusty Spur. What the fuck happened to him? Remember Rusty Spur? That was
Rusty
Yeah,
Spur.
or yeah, Red Spur. Sorry, Red Spur, not Rusty Spur. Red Spur. Yeah, that fucker was like trying to push pro Trump, pro Trump, pro this. I haven't seen him on his profile in like forever.
Well, I mean, a lot of anons were like pro-Trump, and actually, I didn't really see any that were pro-Hillary. But I mean, I'm sure they're out there. But you know,
Uh, yeah.
but I pretty much said they both suck, and wake up, they're both gonna fuck you either way. So
Yeah, I would say a lot of anons that I know have moved off of the social media Facebook platform. Uh, I personally have.
yeah, everybody's leaving YouTube. I'm probably gonna leave YouTube myself and go somewhere else.
Like Vimeo or not Vimeo. What's the other one?
I can't think of it. BitChute.
Oh, VidShoot. Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
is it? I think it's BitChute. I don't know what it's something like that.
It seems. It seems
I
like.
got
It seems like when we stay on, if we, as long as we keep open channels and give links to where we are at, eventually people will move on. So it's just a slow process, you know.
The thing is, there's so many platforms now. I mean,
It's knowing which ones to move into. Like I'm actually, been blessed to the point where we can broadcast the show on any platform we want to, as long as they have an RTMP server, with some of the stuff we use back end. But eventually, where we will stream to will change. You know.
I mean, I think it slows down communication. Because you got to check all these different little platforms for messages, and
That is true. unless we get a domain and we build our own RTMP. RTMPs, that'd be kind of expensive though for data, especially if we're holding on to the data from the shows. That start getting expensive real quick.
Are you on Steam It too? Are you streaming to that?
Steam it. I looked into it. Steam it's a little different, and Steam it is also, I believe Steam.it, right? I believe it's also tied
Right.
into the cryptocurrency, which kind of defeats the
Right.
purpose of like making a profit off of any of some of the stuff we do. Even if we did make, even if I haven't seen a dollar of anything, and even if we did make a profit of anything, we just probably donated it to a cause anyway. You know.
Yeah, a couple of people are. They're saying it's a lot better than at least for now, they're getting treated a lot better than they were off Facebook. I think it's like VidMe, uh, Steemit. The guy tried like 3 or 4 different platforms, and finally, Steemit looks like it's treating them the best.
Well, Steam it you can also make money off of. I believe
Right.
you get a little bit of Steam coins for your reputation. I don't know how exactly that works, but I believe you get some Steam cryptocurrency, and I think it's like 5,400 Steam it coins is equivalent to like 1 Bitcoin or something, which is almost nothing. But still, it's still a profit, you know. So I mean, if you're
Well,
making
hell, I
like
thought that.
Yeah, but
one Steam point, you need to make 5,400 of those.
the thing is, a non goes there, you're automatically, trying to make a profit. You're already,
You've already
so it
sold out.
kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a few anon accounts on the one that had the alien, the one that said that Anonymous had uncovered aliens and shit. That guy,
Oh,
yeah, he
I
has
think
a
that was global, a non-global.
he has a
Yeah,
Patreon page. He's trying to make money off of anon. He has made a total of it's less than $800 since he's had the Patreon page up.
still,
But he's still making money off of anon, and he copyrights all of his shit. We don't copyright anything. It's
no, you're
you can feel free to steal
supposed to
this
use the
show.
videos like me.
Yeah, you can steal this
I mean,
video
you're
and
supposed to.
claim whatever and re-edit it if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be like memes. You put a message out, someone else adds to it, and then someone else gets it, uploads it, adds to it. Same message though, but it's just more added to it. I mean, that's what the way it should be, like the memes were done back on 4chan. You know how someone would take a meme and do their own version of it. I mean, that's the way the video should be.
Yeah.
But no, everybody's too concerned with, I don't know, whatever the fuck they're concerned with.
Well, I've known some people on the back ends, who've tried to make a profit off of anon. I'm not going to put their names up because it's too close for comfort. They know who I am, but uh, yeah, there are anons out there trying to make a profit off of anon, and they're very blatant about it.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah. This guy was also claiming to be. This individual was also claiming to be Moot from 4chan at one point.
Well, that's a bad person to pick, considering Manon pretty much fucking hates him
Yeah,
for selling 4chan. I mean,
yeah. He was also claiming to be Moot. He did his what he has this one page up there called 4channel. He claimed that was like Moot trying to say that he created. I don't know. I think he was high when he was doing it, but I'm pretty sure it's him. I'm pretty sure. Like he's the only guy I knew who would do shit like that.
no, but I see a lot of new Anons coming up, and you have to correct them. Like, they'll put, like, ooh, official Anon, and you're like, hey, whoa, hey, what are you doing?
It says
Oh, I didn't know.
somebody says, "How can anon be for censoring the web?" That's a paradox,
We're not.
or not? I think if you're referring to some of the uh, pedo ops that are going on out there,
Pedos don't count, they suck.
yeah, I tend to stay away from that shit with the 10-foot pole. I get I don't know. There's my own personal issues with that stuff.
The only, here's my opinion on that. We're not censoring the web, we're cleaning it. Pedos are a fucking disease. And if you have a problem with censoring pedos, then you're probably a pedo yourself. So
Well,
that's my thought on it.
remember when I do remember this one pedo op that did come across a web domain that was involved. Now it wasn't like very blatant that this domain was involved in pedophile videos, but it was called Anon Video or some shit like that. But the web domain didn't represent what it, but when you went to the page, it definitely had a non-mask. There was an ongoing op on trying to take that down, but as you know, the Hive was saying, oh, George is saying not you, the copyright things. Well,
Copyright thing.
yeah. I think he's censoring the web. He says not you, the copyright things. Well,
No, I don't copyright anything.
yeah.
Anybody can upload, and
None of us copyright. Nobody that I.
I encourage it. Upload my stuff and remake it. I don't care. Go for it.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say with Anonymous Global, and I believe a non-official was copywriting their shit at one point. I could be wrong on that.
No, well, I know a non-official ain't because I actually one of their videos they put out here kind of recently. I think it was something things to come or whatever, and I took it and I basically did a parody of it, made fun of it.
Yeah,
So
you know, and one thing about a non-official is they do cut and paste other people other people's videos, and they got, you know, to be honest with you, you guys, like with a non-official, like I don't know, they need to get rid of the whole like V for Vendetta shit, and I don't know, it just puts out a weird image of us, you know.
I've been the Guy Fawkes thing. Okay, I understand, but people need to understand where that came from.
Yeah,
That was us trolling Scientology, saying you because the Guy Fawkes is the epic fail
it was
guy.
Epic Fail Guy, yeah, and
Yeah, I mean,
Greg Hoosh was it was his idea during the Scientology protest to find a mask that we could get readily get everywhere. It just happened to be the Guy Fawkes mask.
yeah, because V for Vendetta just come out, but it was more like saying, look, Scientology's an epic fail, you know, and then people just kept wearing it. I mean, the headless uh, suit is pretty much where I'll stick around with. I mean,
Yeah,
the Guy Fawkes mask, I don't use it.
Well, you know, Greg was even saying there was a lot of thought that went into the suit and the wreath around it with the world.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there was
yeah.
a lot of thought that went into the logo. He's been on the show. I haven't heard from him in a
Has he
bit.
really?
Yeah, he's been on the show. Yeah. He's like he was last I heard he was gonna go back on Netflix and work on House of Cards.
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
I know he had a
Who
U.S.
was that?
Farm radio show.
yeah. When was that?
Who was that?
Greg Hoosh. Yeah, he worked with House of Cards because they wanted to
Oh,
figure out
okay. Yeah.
what a
No,
real
I remember
hacker.
that.
Yeah, because they wanted to figure out what a real hacker workspace would look like. So they hired him, and he's been working. He also has his own show called The Greg Hoosh Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it yet. I've been meaning to, but
Yeah,
just
I was
haven't
kind
got
of
around to it.
surprised he was involved in Hollywood.
I didn't know that. I did
Yeah,
not know that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard. You know what else I heard is
Yeah.
something's going on with Barrett recently. Uh,
He's probably got a fucking movie coming out too.
no. This is a loss. This is a case, I guess, between him. God, I'm hearing. Let me see, Barrett.
Well, the
Could be.
government kind of they went from like 10% of his salary to 25%. I guess to try to get their money back quicker.
They
You know,
were
they
going
changed the
after his.
rules on him,
They're going after his something publisher house, and they were harassing them.
and then harassing the.
His,
Well, he works with the Intercept, I think, and they were, you know, kind of going after his bosses there.
let me see.
Anyway,
Barrett Brown donors can sue the government over subpoena records. Uh,
yeah.
so let me see. Journalist supporters can sue FBI over subpoena seeking defense and fund. Yeah, he's. I guess he has this. Let me see. Federal court just allowed donors to sue protectors. Yeah, that's just not.
Yeah, I don't know that would do him any good, but it's a way for the donors to sue the government for essentially spying on him via that legal defense fund. That was the important part of that story.
I know there's something going on in relation to him with something else with the FBI. Now Barrett's putting a lot of his posts on private instead of public, right?
Well, he ought to know better. I mean, if you don't get your message out there, you're going to get censored. It's always better to spray it out there, for better or for worse. Usually, I mean,
Yeah, he's been on this show.
Yeah.
yep.
You guys ain't tried to get Jeremy Hammond on?
Well, when he gets out, you know.
No, now I've heard of him doing the interviews.
Oh yeah, he did one with Vice, where he was
Yeah.
talking in the day room. You know, I'd have to write him a letter, and I'd have to figure out a way for him to call in, and I'd have to modify stuff on the back end to find the right kind of software that would work with the phone call coming from jail, that I could actually answer it live on the phone for us. But when he's in when you're in federal prison, I think you only have so much amount of time to be on the phone.
It's got to
So
be a quick.
we'd have to time it. We'd have to time it right.
I mean, I think all you need to do is you would have to call the jail, right?
No, he would have to call us.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then when he calls, just put the phone up to the speaker, see how it sounds.
Or I'd have to, or just do an impromptu, just like record the call.
Yeah, I was about to say pre-recorded. Yeah.
But yeah.
I've got tape a call if you want to.
Yeah,
Tape a call pro.
I'd have to write him a letter and see if he'll do it.
You want the address?
Oh, I have the address.
All right.
Like, hey, you want to talk on the show?
All you gotta do is tell him who else has all been on it. And
well, he was kind of skittish.
Yeah.
He was kind of skittish talking to Vice as well.
I think I remember that interview. I can't remember. I know it had to be real quick.
You had to be real quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is climbing up in the face of what they're doing is not going to solve the problem. That's essentially going along, honestly. If they can muzzle you and shut you down.
Well, he's behind bars. When you're behind bars, you're in a completely different world.
Yeah, you have no rights.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we've been seeing some of that, coming out of Nevada and what. I mean, they're pretty open about it. I mean,
he's in federal prison, which gives him a little more advantages than some other jails.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to incriminate yourself or anything, but just certainly if you say facts about your case, you can't get in trouble for that. I mean, that's already on the record.
Well, I can't. I probably can't ask him any questions in relation to the Stratford hack.
Yeah, not anything nuts and bolts, but it's like,
yeah.
Well,
I think he gets out. He gets out in like
I
think 3 years. 3 years.
Oh, I thought it was longer than that.
He was only in there for like 10, but I think he's only doing 7. It's like 2000.
That's like, isn't that life? Isn't that considered life?
No.
No.
No. He got a lesser charge than a lot of people got in the past for doing not similar things, but for people doing less stuff. So. Somebody's saying George is saying I worry that the elites may have fake anon accounts to spread nonsense. Well, to answer your question, George, we were infiltrated by during the elections. There was a party coming out called remember that, the Humanitarian Party?
Christopher Minilka.
Yeah. Which isn't really related to the elites, but sometimes we do get infiltrated, but as far as the elites making
that wasn't really an infiltration. That was more of a, who the fuck is this guy?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, that was just a joke. That was a joke.
Well, the thing it wasn't a joke to him. He was very serious about it though.
Yeah, he was serious about it, but he just. Oh my God.
Well, even in parts of his video, he was talking about rewriting parts of our United States Constitution, and having the guy from V for Vendetta with his like scary white hair mask or whatever the fuck it was, and strange Illuminati or Mason symbols on his chest and his vest.
Now, have you seen the video he's put out? It was like, I think it was right before the elections. He put out a video basically, telling everybody, yeah, it was me and this and
Yeah,
oh, what you guys got wrong, and this wasn't a Freemason sign. This was, and you couldn't comment on it. Damn it, you couldn't comment on it. I wanted to comment on that video so bad.
I think he had returned into the inner worlds of the Mormon Church where he came from, right?
I don't know. I don't care. I just hope he goes away for good.
Oh, he'll be back, guarantee it.
Actually, I had a commenter on a video on another non-channel that I think it was. I threw up a dox of a lot of people in the Humanity Party, and I got someone commenting, pretty much cussing me out. But hey,
Like, why did you put my personal information up there? Well,
because you're a retard.
yeah, because you're a retard.
I mean, I just don't see how people. Some people followed it though. A non-official did. They were promoting it.
Yeah, yeah, the fat fuckers that are making money off of Anon. Wait, what?
I don't know. I just found that little article, and I thought I'd throw it up there just for no credibility whatsoever. But hey,
3 shooters?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's okay until it didn't quite make sense there.
There are there's somebody saying 3 shooters, one from Mandalay.
Well, read it before
I did
you.
hear something about the Bellagio. There was some kind of something went on there.
There was something at the when they were shooting one at the Bellagio in New York.
Tropicana.
Yeah.
I don't know about Luxor, but there was. Yeah, what's odd about one of them, if you go through enough videos, there's a taxi cab coming out of either the Tropicana or New York, and you can hear the pop, 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 pop in the background, and then you hear a couple of rounds like super loud, like they're like,
Next
I
to
mean,
it.
it's close, yeah, and it's just like, well, wait a minute,
Ooh, here's
that
a
doesn't
good
make
one.
sense. Yeah.
Here's one for you. Hold on, let me throw this up there. This one's kind of interesting, and it kind of makes sense a little bit on the
Well,
situation.
that's why I wanted to get that one guy on, man, because his story is incredible. If he could
Figure
get
out
it
a way.
out,
Figure out a way to get onto this platform.
yeah, and
Here you go.
actually
Check
get
this
him
one out.
on. Let's keep working on that.
T2 Hellfire. Oh, wait. Hellfire, bump line, position 2 windows. Not one, but 2 in a partner. And exits rouge. Pound, what the heck? The guy has. That's a little weird about this post. Is the guy has the actual pound C9. What are those?
No, at FBI or at CIA agent.
Antifa, but that's not what weirds me out. Is these pound C9 729972. That's a little weird.
Well, hold on, I just clicked on it.
What does that mean?
It took me to.
That might be like a serial number or something. If he's pulling them off the guns, that's what
No,
he's.
it's if you see something, say something. Just never trust FBI and make sure FBI is not the first you tell. This is. Hold on, I'll show you where it took me. It's on Twitter. Here we go.
Those are Twitter hashtags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird.
see. Oh, maybe it's a hashtag he made.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it is. Because that's what it takes you to. One of them at least. I didn't try the other one. I think it's something to get people to look at it and go, "Ooh, what is that?"
Yeah, that might be just some random shit.
Yeah, that's.
Uh-oh, we lost somebody.
I'm still here.
Yeah, what still interests me was I came across a weird account on Twitter that was I swear to God it was like a bot looking around for ISIS accounts. That weirded me
Okay,
out.
hey, one of them takes me to a YouTube video, which I haven't seen before, but here it is. The face of evil.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a little odd.
October 5th, what?
Guys, you're looking at the face of pure evil.
Yeah,
And he represents a company that owns Mandalay Bay, and they sent letters from Boyd.
MGM Resorts, I'm seeing. I'd have to look at the video a little more in depth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get one over to you here. I'll probably lose you for a second, but I'll get back. See if I can get.
God, I guess CNN is only covering more of the stories instead of the actual investigation on what happened at Mandalay Bay. That's typical.
I would expect nothing less from them.
Oh, bump stocks are selling briskly since the Vegas attack. There they go.
I know. I'm thinking about getting one.
Yeah, buy me some too.
Get one just.
Just buy me some too. The AK
I
and
don't even
the
want
AR.
one. I just want to buy one just because they don't.
You
I
can't
just want to
have
buy
one
one to
after
buy
that.
one now.
Yeah, that's just gonna be worth
All right,
like $1,000.
I got a vid up for you that's pretty good. It's stage left, ground level.
Or was this? I think this is. I think I had this one. I think I had this one in the video I made, didn't I?
Let me see this video.
Boy, they got a good view of the hotel there. And
Yeah.
It's hard to make
look
out.
at the room.
Hard to make out where the flashes are coming from, the graininess of the video.
No,
Better
but you
view
could
though.
hear. You could hear it hitting things, and
Yep.
I mean, you're like right there, man.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Like something you'd see out of a fucking movie. You know?
Yeah, of a Terminator movie.
Terminator? Is that what movie it is?
That'd be one of them. I'd say you ever see? I think it was Terminator 2, where he's in a building and he. Well,
Wasn't there
anyway.
a movie called like Rampage? You ever seen that one?
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what this movie
But
kind of reminds me of, like Rampage.
yeah,
I think.
I don't know. Not
I
like
don't know.
this where you're
The guy
shooting
pisses.
people.
Whoever filmed it pisses me off because he just stays to the left side of the hotel when he needs to go to the right more so we can see what's going on. Because I mean, I didn't see no
Right now,
fly.
right now, I bet you there's 2 security guards just swapping around CCTV videos. Hey man, you want to see something
Hey,
creepy? Oh yeah, what's that? Look at the CCTV shit.
Well, you know the casino's got plenty.
Yeah.
But where is it?
hey, did anybody know? I'm trying to see if this is what I'm seeing or not, but let me get the time. As soon as the firing starts, to the left of the screen, is there like a flash or a
That's what people
something?
are saying. Yeah, there's other angles that there's like a
But
security guard or something that literally like seems to open up on the crowd almost at point blank range.
Because
They're
I'm
they're
seeing.
debating some of that, but hey, there's multiple witnesses saying that. So
Yeah. You think he thought he seen somebody with a gun or something and just started trying to shoot at him like a dumbass? Well, didn't they find the security guard dead?
maybe in the Mandalay, that 32nd floor.
Yeah.
I don't think he died though. I think he just got shot. But then, well, I've heard both, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Shot for sure.
if you're able to, somebody George says, if you're able to prove Vegas fake, if it don't matter, I mean 911 has numerous evidence, but if nobody follows it, don't matter. You got to be able to create a movement, not just prove it.
What?
Maybe he's getting tired. It is getting late.
I don't
You
even
have to
want to know
prove.
what
Well, we
time
do
it
have
is.
to. You have to prove it first. Now, she's right there.
Yeah.
But as far as the movement, I mean, it's like you can't seem to get anybody motivated to do anything about anything, really, in any kind of numbers that's required.
Yeah. Oh shit, we got 10 minutes.
Yay!
Yeah.
10 minutes. What do we talk about? 10 minutes.
Uh,
Wow, do we have anything else? Let's see.
let's see. Squawker.org, 4chan warned about Vegas 3 weeks earlier possible to financial and political gain behind mass murder. This is on our page. Let me see. I didn't catch this one on our page.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't follow. I was like, nah, okay, whatever. I mean, if you can't nail it down to time and a place, I mean, I could say anything and still be correct. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people post a lot
Got
of weird shit.
over.
A lot of people post a lot of weird shit on 4chan. You know, it's a posting
Yeah.
board. You know, I mean, you get everything from people high as a kite, you know, posting shit on there, to trolls, to you name it.
Fuel tanks. Fuel tanks. Have we brought up the fuel tanks yet?
Oh
The
yeah, so
theory.
supposedly, you know, he was shooting at the fuel tanks, you know, from that other position, you know, which had I believe it was airline fuel in it.
And supposedly he was trying to ignite a car bomb he had set by blowing those fuel tanks up.
Oh
Let's
really?
see where.
I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear.
Well, I'm looking at something right now that was
I
may
thought
have planned
Uh,
car bombing, tried to ignite jet fuel.
I thought his car was in the. It could have.
yeah.
I thought his car was in the Mandalay Bay. I don't. I mean, I assumed it was there. I don't actually know the position. But they said I remember hearing it. I remember an official saying that they did find um, it was like ammonium nitrate in his vehicle, but that doesn't. Just because you found ammonium nitrate doesn't mean you actually have the end.
He could be a gardener.
Oh yeah, or you could have a
With
lot of
fertilizer.
or you could have a lot of insta cold packs. You know.
Did I post that? Yeah, I posted it. I don't think we'll ever know the actual what happened, motive. Because I mean, we still haven't had a motive put out by the mainstream media yet, have we?
It's been an enigma, you know. No
No motive, but
manifesto,
we need.
no
Yeah, yeah,
manifesto,
but we need. But we
no.
have to take your guns. That's what's
Yeah,
important.
yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
important. That seems to be the agenda. That
Yeah,
now it's the bump stocks problem. You know,
right. We have to blame something.
yeah,
First, well, he's a white guy. See, that's a big one right
well,
there.
yeah,
That goes a
Yeah.
long way.
yeah.
People can't just be nuts anymore. There's no such thing.
Nope.
Oh, that's when he hit the 2,000 foot shot. That must have been an accident. Yeah, even with the scope, that's an accident.
That's doable.
Wait, I think the numbers on this are
But
wrong. It's saying
got it too.
it's saying from where he was to the thing was only 1,100 feet.
No way.
Hey, has anybody used Google Earth to figure it out? I mean, I'm sure you could figure out distance real easy with Google Earth.
Oh, well,
Hey, you could probably get a.
you'd also have to account on how high he was.
Well, you
So
can kind
If
of
he
tell
was
from the
on
map.
the.
I mean, if the shot was 500 yards to or the oh damn it to where the concert was, and you can see on that map, well, it's at least twice that far,
yeah.
and then some. So it's over 1,000 yard shot. If that
It's highly
yeah if
unlikely, but I mean it
yeah
is
you,
possible. I mean, you're
if
just
it
spraying.
is to scale, if it's not to scale, well, then it's probably even further off because man, the airport is further away than you think. It's like 3 or 4 bigger blocks. I mean, it's a long ways. That's the way I remembered it. You ain't going to be putting aviation gas tanks. And if you are, you're setting everybody up because it's like, why would you put them next to a casino and a 10,000 room hotel? Unless you guys are up to something,
Well, they tried to get the
then
venue
it makes
moved, right?
sense.
They tried to get the venue moved,
Oh,
but
huh.
yeah,
Well, it looks like a great spot. I mean, you're on a high density corner, friggin' casinos everywhere. I mean, it's a smart place to have it. You got to have enough security around, plus the casino security. I mean, give me a break, man.
uh,
Do you hear about the killer clowns in Israel?
Killer clowns in Israel.
Yeah.
What? No.
Israel. There's apparently clowns in Israel that are terrorizing Israelis. They said that a couple kids were at the playground playing, and a couple clowns come up and sprayed one of a 10-year-old in the face with acid.
What the fuck?
uh,
And I just see another Israel teens form night patrols as clown panic sweeps Israel.
Oh, it's another CIA operation going on in Israel.
sure
Clowns.
sounds like it. Yeah.
I couldn't believe that shit even caught on. That there were like that was
You know
definitely
why that
that
it's
was a
catching
psyop.
on, right?
It was a psyop.
Well, I'm talking about right now. It is coming back into theaters. So
Oh, because it is coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
They'll float down here, Billy.
So that's your media. That's your media
theater, they're
working
trying
with
to sell movies.
Hollywood to
That was a
push
great
their
movie.
movie.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, have you noticed Hollywood just sucks now, and I hate them?
Well, they're remaking it. The original one was great.
No, I'm just talking about when all of a sudden did they get so political? I mean, God, everybody's got a freaking
Well,
opinion now. Just shut up and make movies and entertain us, you dancing monkeys. I mean,
they were always political. I mean, to go back into before World War
yeah,
II, they were communist, and I mean, there was that element there, but it was classy. They put out good films. It was in the background. Now they want to put it out in their concerts and get all political.
It's everywhere.
And most of they're not smart enough to have an attitude, an opinion. Most of the time, these actors really aren't that smart.
But
and
what makes me mad is you got actors I used to like, and then they come out and say some dumb shit, and you're just like, what? Really? Damn it!
I like Michael
Did
Moore.
Hey, did we
Michael's
cover Nancy Sinatra saying that all the NRA members needed to be
Shot.
shot by a firing squad?
Oh, okay.
Right. Oh, that's good Hollywood. There you go.
Thing is, meanwhile, who you think's going to be the firing squad? The NRA, probably. They're the ones with the guns.
Well, it won't be her because they like to dictate. They like to get their little slaves to do all these things. They don't like to do it themselves. That's messy. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They just like to bark orders,
Yeah. All right, guys, we got a minute and a half.
I found the clown article. I found the clown article.
Oh, God.
Send in the clowns.
Wait a minute. Yeah, there it is.
Wait a minute. I thought we were the clowns. Isn't that what everybody says about our show?
Oh, that's the wrong article.
Behind our back?
Oh, sorry, that page doesn't exist. What?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what it said? No. I'll screenshot it. Screw that.
It must not be Zionist media friendly then.
I'm sorry, I'm on a mobile device. I need to move this highlighter. No, move. Fuck you, highlighter.
Oh, wow. It doesn't exist now, huh? It just did.
Down the memory hole.
It's going back to a Twitter account, so let's see how long. Oh, well.
What do they call that? Is that Facebook limbo or Twitter limbo now? You're there, but it doesn't really post, so you're in this limbo zone. We're not censoring you, but we're not going to let you post it either.
All right, we got 10 seconds.
Well, thank you everybody for listening.
Yep. Thank you for listening to our show. We'll be back soon with Anonymous Bites Back 84. And I'm running with the outro.
I declare this to be an unlawful assembly.